Um, Good afternoon, everybody. Lincoln say she was gonna die anyway. Oh my God, Lincoln is wild. Lincoln is wild. Oh boy. Uh, oh. Uh, Good afternoon. Good afternoon, lady. Oh, Lincoln Ware is wild. Oh, oh boy. Oh my God. Oh. I think I need a break. Oh. Oh. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't stop laughing. Woo. Oh boy. Come on, pull it together. Pull it together. Oh boy. Good afternoon, people. Good afternoon. Oh, oh boy. Oh boy. Come on, pull it together. Yeah, I'm trying to pull it together. Oh my God. Oh my God. Woo. We're 101.5 The Buzz in Cincinnati. Bring your talk station. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the afternoon experience. My name is Emanuel Livingston. On the other side of the glass is Raven Mundy.
Hello.
Hello. We are here. Please forgive me. Something happened at the end of the last show that I'm sorry I can't stop laughing about. And I'm trying to pull it together. I promise I'm trying to pull it together. Boy. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. Let's call it open today. All right? Whatever you want to talk about, you can call in and talk about it. 749-1230.
This is a train wreck waiting to happen.
749-1230. No, the people be having good stuff to talk about. People have good stuff to talk about. Did you see the story? And I don't want to dwell on this today because we talked about it ad nauseum yesterday. But did you see the story where Bill Cosby has come out and said R. Kelly was railroaded? Yeah. Apparently Bill Cosby's come out and he said R. Kelly was railroaded. The system was against him. He didn't stand a chance. And he kind of blamed Gloria Allred. Oh, boy. I guess what they say, birds of a feather flock together, whatever. So, well. And people are asking, what was funny? Somebody called in. It's not funny. It's actually horrible. It's horrible, but it's funny. Lincoln Ware, on the Lincoln Ware show, he talked about the virus and the vaccine. Of course, the vaccine people, they always put out a lot of misinformation. and want everybody to buy into their misinformation. And then if you don't buy 100% into their misinformation, then you're the one spreading the misinformation. But okay. And a person called in and said that his mom died from getting the vaccine. And Lincoln told that man she was going to die anyway. And I know you just hearing me say that. That's not funny. That's not funny. But the way Lincoln said it and the seriousness. And I'm sitting there. I was actually sitting basically right next to him when he said it. And I was shocked. That is not funny. He said she was 100 years old. She had outlived her life expectancy. Oh, see, why did you make me say it again, Miss Mundy?
I didn't do nothing. I haven't said a word. All I said so far was hello.
You had that look.
But I get crazy when I say he disrespectful.
Oh, boy.
I don't care what the conversation was. I'm not going to tell somebody who just told me that their mom died that she was going to die anyway. I don't care what the context is.
That is so not funny. 749-1230. Again, we're calling it open today. And since we're talking a little bit of coronavirus, I like to, be balanced. I try to be fair and balanced. If you don't know that about me, I try to be fair and balanced. So I have this story. A fully vaccinated Michigan couple dies from COVID-19 1 minute apart while holding hands. Yeah, there was a couple in Michigan. Again, they were both fully vaccinated. Both fully vaccinated. They died 1 minute apart from COVID-19. Cal Dunham, 59, and his wife Linda, 66, had pre-existing conditions, and they were very cautious. But they came down with symptoms during a recent camping trip, and days later were hospitalized and put on a ventilator. They did not improve, and doctors told the family they would likely need to come off of life support on Monday. Yeah. They were reportedly wheeled into the same room. He died at 11:07. She died at 11:08. They were holding hands. Just so y'all know, because I know y'all think it does, but you can still get the coronavirus and die even if you get the vaccine. Again, I'm not saying don't get the vaccine. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, y'all spreading that misinformation. And, I posted something on Lincoln's Live. Just factual. I know it to be factual because I know someone who had the coronavirus and had zero symptoms. Wasn't sick. They were happy. They didn't even believe that they had it. So they went and got another test because they, this whole false positive, and the other test came back positive. They had the coronavirus, but they had zero symptoms. And I posted, everybody who gets the virus doesn't die. As a matter of fact, some people have zero symptoms. And people were like, yeah, and Santa Claus is real. And I'm like, what? People. See, that's the misinformation that they put out there. You make the best decision for you. You make the best decision for you. Because, again, a lot of people have contracted the virus and not, they'll try to spin it like, if you get the virus, here are your options. A ventilator and death, or just death, no ventilator. A lot of people get that daggone virus and, live to tell the tale. Don't let them scare you into taking the vaccine. Think it through. And then if you want the vaccine, I encourage you, get the vaccine. I encourage you. I know people going to be mad. People are going to be mad at me. You anti-vax? You an anti-vaxxer? What? Because I'm telling the truth? Because I'm telling the truth? You know, people get hit by lightning and survive too. What? That's not the same? Well, maybe it is. But numbers wise, that's clearly not the same. A lot of people. I would use this computer, but I can't use this computer because this computer is horrible. Yeah, I just don't know. I know Lincoln complained about it this morning. I got to complain about it a little bit more. That computer is horrible. But I'm going to go back to the site to see how many people actually have gotten the virus. And how many people, and these are just people who have tested positive. There are a number of people who had the virus who never got tested. Probably some of them because they didn't have any symptoms. And they didn't die. All right. 749-1230. What? Mr. Ware's in there. You told that man his mama was going to die. Oh, that's horrible. That is horrible. See, y'all can't see. He's in there. He's in the other room. He's trying to stare me down for telling the truth. He's mad at me for telling the truth. Everybody who gets the virus doesn't die. Even if you don't have the vaccine, there's a good chance, a really good chance, that if you get the virus, you won't die.
I think people forget that you at one time had COVID and you are yet alive.
Maybe I'm a ghost. Am I a ghost too, Mr. Ware? I'm dead, but I'm in here on the air. Like it's over 98% of the people who get it survive. Over 98% of the people who get it survive.
But you don't know that for sure, Lincoln.
He still didn't talk about that
yes,
man's
he's arguing
mama.
With me.
Y'all, let me take a break. He's really passionate about. I'm sorry. This is unprofessional. How dare y'all make me
I don't have nothing to do with this.
Unprofessional. You and Lincoln in the other room in my ear arguing about whether or not somebody's 100-year-old mama was going to be dead anyway. How am I supposed to be professional and conduct a professional high-level talk show?
I'll tell you what. It's break time so you can figure that out in the next 4 minutes.
Let me get a break. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. This is not funny. It is not.
You the only one laughing, Emanuel.
Here he come back in the room. It is not funny. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
101.5 The Buzz and Walker Funeral Home presents the Black Business.
I'm not going to let him get away with it. Using his mother. My mother.
He can hear. He fired up. This shot, the man say the shot killed his
That shot didn't kill his mother. He's 100 years old.
And she lived to be 100.
So, right. See, look, after 80, she's biting anybody. When you live past the average age, after 80, you're biding your time.
But hold on.
100.
So you think it's just coincidental?
Yeah, I mean, look.
She lived 99 years, then she got the shot and died.
That's coincidence. I bet you she didn't even have a shot. You lying. She took the vaccine and died. Come on.
Why? People get the vaccine. They tell you that there are side effects, Mr. Ware. Why? His mama couldn't have had a side effect of death. Here. I'm laughing about. Oh my God, people mad at Raven. Oh boy. How am I not supposed to laugh at that? Oh boy. Oh boy. Lincoln is heated. Lincoln is heated. Sorry, I gotta finish eating my salad. I only got a few bites left. Now he out there giving me the finger. I don't know why. Now I had a salad. I ate most of it, but I just had that little bit. I had to go ahead and eat it, and I know I only got so much time, so I had to hurry up. Minutes after 101.5 The Buzz of Cincinnati. We're your talk station. It's the afternoon experience. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I am with you until 3 o'clock this afternoon. Yeah, 3 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, Al Sharpton on the other side of the glass, your favorite millennial, Raven Dejanay Monday.
Why is it Dejanay today?
You just got that look.
Okay.
You got that look. You're getting off that vibe. Let's see. I said we're doing open lines today. So if you want to talk about the coronavirus, you can. Don't bring no misinformation. Now, don't be bringing me no misinformation. If you're going to talk about it, let's just stick to facts. And if you like, look, this is my opinion, then that's okay. I can live with your opinion if you're just putting it out there as opinion. But that's just if you have to. 749-1230. Eric, you're on the buzz.
Yeah, I'm just got something to say.
All right.
I basically think it's conquer and divide. That's my opinion. And the fact is, if you got the vaccine, what are you so afraid of? Because when they first mentioned the vaccine, they never said that you still would catch it.
All right. People are still catching it.
That's about it. Everybody needs to think, use their brain. That's it. That's simple. They trying to, it's like a smoke screen. Pay attention to everything else. What's going to happen in December, November, when it's cold? Food shortages. What's going to happen then?
Huh?
Food shortages are here and coming, and it's going to get worse and worse. That's what people need to be focused on.
But are there really food shortages?
There really is.
Really? You know how much food we throw away, in particular in this country, on a regular basis? I don't buy food shortage. I don't buy that there's going to be a food shortage.
Well, it's something doing with the shipping. You know, something's doing with the manufacturer. You know, there's no food shortage where I'm at, in my household, but it is out there.
All right, if you say so.
You'll see. 2 months. You'll see. Y'all have a good one.
All right. That's Eric. He says it's going to be a food shortage. And, okay. All right. I don't think there's going to be a food shortage. Again, y'all know I get mad every time. We just overusing shortage. We're overusing shortage. And what's the other thing? I guess shortage. I guess shortage is what they, because I went to Chipotle again. I'm not supposed to say the name. I went to my restaurant again, and they didn't have no cilantro in the rice. And I said, what's up with this?
Still a shortage.
There's a cilantro shortage. But it was cilantro yesterday. And then when I went back the next day, because I didn't get it, because, you know.
That's your fault. You should have got it when it was there.
No, I'm saying I didn't get the cilantro-less rice. So I went back the next day, and sure enough, it was cilantro. So it was a shortage that only lasted for a day?
Maybe their supplier, their cilantro supplier, didn't come through to the next day.
Right, that don't make it a shortage.
I mean, that's not technically true, because if you think about it, I'm sure Chipotle shares their supplier with other companies. So if every company that cilantro supplier wants cilantro and there is an actual shortage, they're gonna be like, it's probably, at this point, it's probably whoever is the highest bidder. So maybe Chipotle just put in the highest bid that day.
But the one down the street had it. Just like y'all ran out. We ran out. We didn't order enough. Somebody miscalculated the need for cilantro. A shortage. Everything is a shortage. People are really taking advantage of this daggone coronavirus. Blade, you're on the buzz.
What's going on?
How you doing, sir?
Hey, I want to kind of piggyback on yesterday.
All right.
It was a weird conversation that you had with Marquetta. Long as you get money, she don't care if you're married or not to go up in her.
She was just being silly about that. I'm certain. She ain't out there selling A.
Well, if you go back and listen to her, she was serious. As long as you give her some money, you know, it ain't no difference how many babies you throw up in her. Married or unmarried, you know, it's all about that money. She said money at least about 10, 20 times in the whole conversation. Hey, but I wanted to say, man, that we need to start taking things serious. I know you're being funny about this. It's been a food shortage for a minute.
It is
All this
not.
food.
Well, okay, hold on. Wait, Blade. Define what a food shortage is, then.
I was about to. You was ad-libbing kind of long.
Hey,
when you look at it, when you go in a grocery store, how many aisles and rows is that real food? Majority of it's not even real food. You go to the vegetable part, and then when you go to the vegetables and the fruit, how much of those have seeds? If they don't have seeds and they can't reproduce itself, it's not real. So when you look at a grocery store, they're getting over it anyway, because majority of that stuff is garbage, especially all the stuff in the boxes. That's fake. There's no.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait, Blade.
Go.
Define a food shortage.
I thought I did.
No, you didn't. That was not a definition of a food shortage.
Let me simplify it.
All right.
If it's not, if it don't, I think I did. If it don't reproduce itself, it's not real food. So, how long and how many years we've been eating food is not real food?
All right.
I mean, how do you want me to say it? I mean, I don't understand.
In a way that actually makes sense.
Okay. The stuff that we eat is not real food. Real food have not been made since real meat have not been made since 1970. Majority of this meat is not real. So, I mean, majority of the steak that you eat in restaurants are clone meat. White Castle clone meat. McDonald's clone meat.
It's cloned. Hold on. It's cloned what?
Clone meat. It's not real meat.
But it is meat, right?
No, it's not real meat.
But it's meat. It's cloned.
Okay,
cloned what?
Clone
Meat. Right. Meat. It's meat.
Meat. Yeah, meat.
Right.
Yes.
So it is meat.
Right. It's not real. So we was never designed to eat cloned meat. I just one thing I want to say, man, that we're not taking really things seriously. And when you listen to old girl, she was partially right. She was simplified. The
Who?
Purge.
Who?
Old girl on Lincoln's show. California is burning. All that's going to burn. The West is going to burn. It's burning now. And New York and all that eventually is going to flood. So they're going to have to push everybody. That's why they want to kill off a couple million of y'all. And one more thing. That was very disrespectful what Lincoln done, and he needs to apologize, or we will boycott. Thank you.
All right. I'm pretty sure, Blade, if you choose to boycott, Lincoln Ware would be all right with that. I would put money on that one. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. Let me get a break in. He was kind of looking like you wanted to say something. That's why I was pausing. Because you had that, I got something to say, look, and I was waiting. But I'm going to get a break in. I got a few stories for y'all. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
101.5 The Buzz, connecting you to information and events happening around the city and around the...
You just let them say stupid stuff. Because it's their right, I guess. Not necessarily on air, but you let them on the air. So you just let them say stupid stuff. And everybody listening know that's stupid. So you don't even necessarily have to say that's stupid. Because everybody listening is thinking that's stupid. Yeah. Why y'all keep, huh? Hey. What was I about to say? I was about to say something. Hey. It ain't no joke. You combine that with that coronavirus, I can barely make it through the day. I was about to say something. Elizabeth Lincoln was definitely being mean-spirited. He was definitely being mean-spirited. Hold on. Let me get over here. Yeah, if thank you, DeWanda, about the shirt. If Blade boycotted Lincoln's show, Lincoln would be happy. He would be happy. He would probably call corporate, and some of them up there might celebrate. I don't know what shortages. Man, this thing are a result of the disruption of distribution.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably. Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate.
Oh, Bill Gates. Okay, I didn't read that because I didn't know what you were saying. Said as far as food is concerned, I'm more concerned about why Bill Gates is interested in agriculture and is the biggest farmland owner in the United States.
Can I get a mulligan? Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
I am ever so slightly familiar with Dr. Sabi,
Probably okay isn't
but
okay,
not really.
especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by
No, it was mean spirited. It definitely was mean spirited. I'm not just saying it because Lincoln said it. What? Hold on. If somebody called in here and told me that they mama died from something, and I said your mama was gonna die anyway, y'all wouldn't be like, "See, man, you wrong for that." Come on, y'all know y'all would. Some of y'all acting like it ain't mean spirited because it's Lincoln who said it.
And we don't stop. Faith. 99.
We can dance,
33 minutes
clap your
after
hands.
101.5 The Buzz in Cincinnati. We're your talk station. It's the afternoon experience. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I do believe we might be headed for a government shutdown. We might be headed for a government shutdown. Now, to be completely honest, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to me? Not much. Not much. I mean, maybe some slight inconvenience and some services but of all the government shutdowns that I've experienced, it didn't mean anything to me.
I mean, it meant something to me because I have a lot of family members who work in government, so they were unemployed. But outside of that,
They got that money eventually.
yeah, eventually. But
Yeah.
that don't mean nothing when you got to pay bills now.
Yeah. They be all right. They be all right. I've come to this conclusion. Some stuff I don't move me anymore. I'm not convinced that there's anybody in government that actually cares about the debt or the deficit. Nobody. Like they've just forgotten about it. Like really, it's literally to them, it's just a graph. It doesn't mean anything. You couldn't run your life, your household, the way that the government runs this country financially. It couldn't happen. And they're debating whether or not they're going to do this $1 trillion bipartisan bill or this 3.5 trillion. Did I say billion? $trillion infrastructure bill, or this $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill, or both, or some combination, maybe trim off some of the three, make it 2.5 trillion. I'm not convinced that as a nation we'll be solvent for very long. Something got to give eventually. Eventually. I know the government is not run like your household and my household. I know that. But, come on. At some point, you look at it and you're like, every year, we're running a deficit that's higher than the year before, and we're not paying off what we were supposed. And then we shut down. They pass something to get everything back running, and nobody looks at it and says, we got to do something. We got to do something. Because there is no will to actually do what might need to be done. And what might need to be done is, number one, if you ask me, all of the foreign aid that we give away, that probably need to stop for a minute. You have to say to all of these other nations, look, for about the next decade, y'all on y'all own.
But I feel like and again, I'm not extremely familiar with how foreign aid works, but I know how America works. I know how I've seen my government work. And I'm quite sure that foreign aid is just a cover up or another terminology for this is us investing in this country because we can't do this world power stuff by ourselves. And so we give foreign aid as a disguise, but really this is just to cement the fact that we got some allies somewhere, or we got somebody in this country who's going to be, you know, sympathetic to an American or American policy or American politics or whatever it may be. Like, it's easy to say, oh, we can just take our money back, like as if we're giving to charity, but America doesn't do anything for nothing. America is not charitable. America is a business. So removing foreign aid from certain places, I'm quite sure comes with certain repercussions that America's just not, our government is just not gonna want to deal with.
Look, I'm just, in order to get it together, and of course, I don't have a degree in economics. I'm just some dude looking at it. And again, if this computer would work, I could pull up some actual numbers to give you, but I don't have to. We're in horrible, horrible, horrible debt. And every year we go deeper and deeper and deeper in debt. And everybody wants more. Everybody wants more. Well, the cost of living is going up. Kiddies people raise this, kiddos people raise this. We need more of this and we need more of that. And it's true, we need probably all of those things. But how long can this go on? How long can you just continually be in debt? Because debt is not just some kind of thing that exists in the universe somewhere. Just, no. How long can we sustain this? But nobody wants to do what needs to be done. I don't want to do government aid to people, government aid to organizations. We need to cut back on spending. We need to cut back on military spending. We need to cut back on all spending. Everything.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. So, what is the idea, since it's not going to happen?
They just going to keep printing more money.
Look, if we can't do it right, F it. Let's just do whatever. Here, with $3.5 trillion. Well, next year it'll be $5 trillion. Then it'll be $30 trillion. And where's that money coming from?
They printing it, Emanuel. You know this. They printing new money every day.
At some point, something's got to happen. Something's got to happen. Nobody's going to ever want to do what needs to be done. Now, that don't mean you can't, because just having a balanced budget or even a surplus. You know, I remember when Bill Clinton was in, Bill Clinton had surpluses. Not enough to make a difference. I mean, it's good. He was fiscally responsible. I don't know how long we can go on like this, though. I mean, just looking at it, it's scary. It's scary. Your household couldn't run like that. After a while, people want their money.
I just need for everybody to come to the same realization that I have, that America is basically a third world country. Like, that's like, we put on good airs or whatever, but if you are any kind of aware of this debt, this trillions and trillions of debt that we are into these other countries, we're definitely third world country level over here. Like, if you think about our poverty rate, if you think about our homelessness, if you think about our economic just destruction over the last couple of years, like, we are a third world country, and I need for us to become comfortable with that, to start thinking of it as that, so that we don't keep like confusing ourselves about what this is.
Well, Glenn says that's why Joe Biden wants to make the rich pay their fair share. No more wars will help. But that's not going to happen. I know it's what he says. Rich people don't want to pay their share. These corporations don't want to pay their fair share. They will up and move somewhere else. they will up and move somewhere else. Nobody wants to do what needs to be done. There's no political will for it, and there's no will from the people. Let me get a break in. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
101.5 FM, 1230 AM. The buzz of Cincinnati is your.
And again, I am not an economist, and I don't claim to understand everything about the economy. Then, our money ain't backed by gold, and and you got the Fed, and we just print and we borrowing money from China, and I vaguely understand all of that stuff. And when I say vaguely, I mean vaguely. I vaguely understand all of that stuff because none of that stuff matter. Nobody wants to do. They would have to say. The federal government would have to say to all of the states, basically, we're not going to give y'all no money for nothing for a while. We got to get our house in order fiscally. Which then the states would be like, oh, we don't get no more money for nothing. So then everybody's taxes would go up except for the rich people. Because they're not going to tax rich people like that. They are not going to tax rich people like that. People who receive aid from the government, they would have to slash that, if not cut it out all the way. Nobody wants to see that cut out all the way. You know how many people would be hungry and not be able to make it? Yes, they would have to cut foreign aid. I don't care why they get given the foreign aid. It don't matter. You don't have it to give. Sean Nutter says, giving away all this free money started with Trump. I don't think it did. And I can't say with 100% certainty, but I think I remember under Obama getting a stimulus check. Oh, you know what happened to me yesterday? After the show, on my Facebook page, and in my email and my voicemail, I was, it's fair to say, inundated with stories by women. Saying, because, I do the show, and I'll be trying to get people to think and all of that kind of stuff, but I don't really think about how it affects people. And I got to go back. "14 minutes to the top of the hour. 101.5, the buzz of Cincinnati. We're your talk station. It's the afternoon experience. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I am with you until 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. 749-1230. We're calling it open. So I'm a little all over the place in terms of topic. I'm a little all over the place. All right? So y'all forgive me. Forgive me. But let me say this. Yesterday, y'all know we talked about R. Kelly. And we had a lot of men call in, and you know, some of them said some decent stuff, some of them said some horrible stuff. When the show went off, later on in the evening, when I got finished doing what I had to do, later on in the evening, I sit down and I go through my email here at work. And when I say I was inundated with emails from women, some of you all here listening, and voicemails from women. And I went to my Facebook page and I had messages from women saying, well, let me say this before I say what they were saying. I do this show every day because, you know, I have thoughts and opinions. And I share them, and the company says, hey, bro, if you want a job, you be on the air, talk about stuff. Go on the air and talk about stuff, and we'll pay you. I said, all right. And I said, since I got to be on the air, I want to do things and say things and hopefully make somebody think about something, either in a way that they never thought about it or in a way that maybe changes their mind about something for the good. So that's what I'm on here trying to do on a regular basis. And of course, sometimes I'm just having fun. But I got calls and emails from people saying, thank you for the show. And I'm thinking, thank you for what? I just was doing what I was doing. And, you know, there are people, again, y'all don't know, I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitch, and sometimes I'm on Instagram. And I get messages, and yesterday this happened during the show. People saying, all right, move on, next topic. All right, we're tired of this. Oh, this is depressing. Oh, whatever. I got a number of those messages from people on the social media platforms. But I think I'm glad I didn't move on when people wanted me to move on. Because apparently it was somewhat empowering to women, and the messages that I heard yesterday, that I received, that I saw, were women saying, look, I went through this. And there were a number of people who were saying, wanting to thank you guys, those of you who were responsible, for saying it's not the fault of the victim. Because you know that there are still women out here who were what do you call it? I don't want to say victimized because they don't feel like victims. Survivors. There are a number of women out here who are survivors, who still feel like victims, who still feel like they've been made to feel like they were responsible for stuff. And they were saying, look, to hear the people call in and say, it wasn't your fault. To hear the people call in and say, you can't blame the 14 or the 15 or the 17 or the 18-year-old. It did something for them. But I tell you what struck me more than even that. And I'm glad that it freed some people. And somebody said I'm just complimenting myself. I'm actually not. I'm complimenting you guys, the people who called in here, who said, no, R. Kelly was wrong. Don't blame those children, or don't blame his victims. They are not at fault, even if they came on to him. These were some of the messages from some of the people that I got messages from. But what got me more than any of that is just the sheer number. And I know I've said this before, but I don't know that there's a woman in the sound of my voice, under the sound of my voice, as they say, who hasn't dealt with this on some level. Maybe not forcefully raped, but dealt with some sort of a sexual situation where she felt like she didn't have the power in that situation. And I don't know, when you get a whole lot of messages from a whole lot of women saying, I went through this and it was horrible, and people don't talk about it, and people don't deal with it, and people make us feel bad about what happened to us, it makes me feel good to know that there are some of y'all, again, some of y'all, who don't feel that way, and you're willing to come on, and you're willing to say, it wasn't your fault. You was a victim of that person, or, you know, you were a child and you're not responsible for what that horrible person did. And then we can talk about that stuff. And you don't know. I don't know. And I sit here, and again, this happens from time to time where I get messages from people saying things, and it still kind of all goes over my head. But you don't know who y'all touching when y'all call in and do stuff. And I'll say, when Marquetta shared her story yesterday, that was apparently what triggered a lot of people to send those messages and say thank you, because they feel like they can't share their story. But for her to share her story meant a lot to a lot of these survivors. I keep saying victim, to a lot of these survivors. So I know it's a talk show. We talk about stuff, and you don't think that it makes that big of a deal when it changes, but it can affect people's lives. And I want to thank y'all for that. And I want to thank y'all on behalf, because again, they weren't necessarily saying, Emanuel, you're the greatest. They could have said that and they would have been right, but that's not what they were saying. They were thanking you guys basically for being there, for being a community and supporting them. So I want to thank y'all. But I do want to say this to the men out here. Go ask your daughter. I don't even know if it's fair to say ask them, because that's a personal thing. That's a personal thing. But if you were to ask your daughters, your mother, your aunts, your female cousins, whether or not they've dealt with something along those lines, you would probably be shocked how many of them would tell you, yes, I've survived. I was about to say I've been a victim. I've survived a situation of sexual abuse or sexual assault or rape or whatever it is that you want to call it. And there is no way in the world that many women should have to be survivors of this. And when you think about it, they holding it together. I don't know the numbers, right? I don't know the numbers, because we all know rape happens, and a lot of times it's not reported. Sometimes it's not reported for a lot of reasons, but sometimes it's not reported because these survivors feel like ain't nobody gonna believe them, and they'll be re-victimized.
Or simply that their voice will be diminished, and so even if somebody believes them, nobody will care.
But to hear all of this, to hear the voices, and to see all the messages from all of these women saying, some of them said victim, but somebody pointed out to me that I kept saying victim yesterday, and some of them don't want to be looked at as victims. So that's why I'm trying to retrain myself as I say it to say survivors. But to hear the voices of these survivors, and then to just think, we make it, men, we make it okay. And look, because somebody already said men don't report it. And I don't want to diminish that. I don't want to diminish that because it happens to men as well. It happens to men as well. And it happens to little boys and stuff too. So I don't want to diminish that. But right now, I'm talking about women. Right now, I'm talking about women. And more women than you care to know have survived this. And it's because a lot of us men, now, of course, I don't think I'm one, but I don't know, I can be insensitive from time to time. I've been accused of that from time to time. But a lot of us men, some of the things that we say and the things that we do, we create a situation where this stuff can keep happening. So we men, we got to get it together. I keep saying this and I'm not going to stop saying it. We got to protect our women. Fathers, see, and that's why the fatherlessness thing, you know, no father in the home, no father in the life of, in particular, because again, I'm talking about women. No fathers in the life of their daughters. One of your main reasons for existing as a father is to protect your daughter. That's one of the main reasons that you exist as a father. To protect your daughter. Now, look, don't get me wrong. Just because there's a father in the home or a father in the life doesn't mean that a child is not going to end up, being molested or that something bad is not going to happen to them. I'm not saying that.
But it sure is an extra defense.
And what's wrong with adding an extra line of, not even an extra line, a line of defense that's supposed to be there? That's your role. And if you ask me as a father, that's your primary role. That's your primary role. So fathers, be in the lives of your daughters. Their sons too. I know, but we talking about women right now. Fathers, be in the lives of your daughters. Talk to them. Talk to them.
That's what I was gonna say. Just talk to your daughter.
Yeah, don't just wait and did anybody touch you when you was little? No, talk to them. Tell them, don't be sitting on people's laps, or if somebody touches you here, that's a bad thing. And when they little, you can have these conversations with them. I know we've been taught, men ain't supposed to be talking to little girls about certain things, and that's the woman's job. And no, it's your job. It's your job. You're the father. Your job is to protect her. And if you're not in her life, if you got a daughter and you're not in her life, well, she made me mad and she took some money from me one day when I was in it. So what? Get in her life. Get in her life. Talk to her. Talk to her. Believe it or not, this is just my thinking on this. You know what another one of your roles is supposed to be as a father? Because y'all know me. I'm going to put a break. I'm going to tell you about what another role is supposed, your role, men, women, I'm not telling you can't do this. I'm not saying women can't do that. No. I'm talking to the men because I want the men. We got to protect our women. And that don't just start with when our women are grown women. Like, oh, ain't nobody going to do nothing to my wife. That's cool. That's good. It's great. But what about your little daughter, the little baby girl? The little baby girl. Just in my opinion, what another role is supposed to be for you as a father. And yeah, I'm talking about you as a father in your child's life, because that's one of the big things that's missing in the community. It's one of the big things that's missing. Let me get a break. Sharif, DJ Key, I'm going to get to y'all. I'm going to tell y'all this, and then, hopefully I'm going to shut up for a minute. I'm going to listen to some calls, and then, we can talk about some other stuff. It's the Afternoon Experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
WDBZ, Cincinnati, and Urban One Station. Minority controlled and operated.
Well, I was about to say sorry. I didn't really even intend on talking about this, but I looked up at my little message thing here, and I saw where look right now it says 20 plus. There's 20 plus messages waiting there. 20 plus messages waiting there. And I don't know how many of them are, about yesterday. So there might be some people mad at me, like for laughing at Lincoln telling that, man, his mama was going to die anyway. And, I don't know what the messages are. But seeing that made me think of the messages that I got yesterday. And I will say for Marquetta, I don't think that she's actually on right now. But I will say for Marquetta, even though she threw a shot or two yesterday at me, and I was like, oh, she slid that in. She just slid it in. I caught it. I just let it go. But the next time I talk to her, I'm gonna let her know that what she did was very powerful for a lot of women, because I got a lot of messages and a lot of them mentioned that. Oh, let me go back. Four minutes after 101.5, the Buzz of Cincinnati. We're your talk station. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you until 3 o'clock this afternoon. 3 o'clock this afternoon. And we're calling it open today. You can call in and talk about whatever is, as the Reverend Al Sharpton will say, whatever's on your heart, whatever's on your mind. That was a horrible Al Sharpton, but y'all know, y'all get that. But I was talking about some of the messages that I received yesterday from survivors of sexual assault. And I was talking about the fact that fathers need to be in the lives of their children to protect them, to teach them and to protect them. You know what else you need to be in the life of your child for? Love. They need to know what love feel like healthy love from a man. Every woman should know what it feels like. When she's grown, she should know, like, he loved me, and sometimes it can be disguised, whatever. But if you was in her life and you showed her love, like genuine love, healthy love, she should be able to feel that when she's receiving. It's going to be slightly different. It's going to be slightly different if it was healthy on your part. It's going to be slightly different. But she should be able to feel love from a man and be like, you know what, this is healthy. This is healthy. I felt this comfortable around my daddy. This is the kind of love that I felt from him. Now, this is that love with a little something extra. But, at the base, I've experienced this before. But if she ain't never felt love from daddy, and a lot of times, somebody else can step in. Somebody else can step in and help out. Stepfathers do, I know people don't like that term, but stepfathers can do an amazing job. But even if the stepfather is there doing an amazing job, it's been my experience from the women that I've talked to, from actually a woman that I raised, from women that I've dated, that even if stepdaddy is there and stepdaddy did an amazing job, they still wanted the love of daddy. And there was something missing because they wasn't getting the love from daddy. Daddy, that's your role. That's one of your jobs, is to show your daughter what real, true, honest, wholesome, clean, healthy love feels like from a man. so that she ain't falling for everything and just, oh, he said he loved me. Well, she ain't ever experienced love from a man, so that's all she know. That's what it feel like.
For some women, it's not even that. For some women, it ain't even got to be love. It ain't even that I feel like you love me. Because y'all know my situation. I've spoken about it quite a few times. And I got my father, near the end of his life, he got it together enough to come back into the lives of his daughters. He had 3 girls and 1 boy, or 2 boys. But the girls are all the oldest. We were all the oldest, so we're the ones who kind of like my oldest sister, she had him most, and then like maybe a few years after she was born, it was done for. But he got his life together enough in the end to come back and kind of do things for myself personally that I just never had. Like, he was able to very quickly establish certain things for myself, and just some of the stuff that I went through in my childhood to just be there. Like, I don't think a lot of absentee parents understand when you are not there are assumptions made in your absence, and it's a lot easier and it's a lot healthier for your child to be able to go to the source and ask you these hard questions. And I know you don't always want to answer them because you can't always completely answer the question. Sometimes you be confused about why you did this and why you did that. But let me know that. Let your child know that. Explain to your child, because eventually they going to grow up and they going to understand life at some point. They're going to understand how hard this stuff is. They're going to understand temptation. They're going to understand at moments when you wanted to be selfish and you might not necessarily been thinking about being. They're going to understand. They might not appreciate it, but they're going to understand. So don't assume that it's ever too late or that your child does not need that from you. Even if they telling you they don't need it, still make the effort, because it's a lot of broken women and children and just people in general who are dealing with childhood trauma from absentee parents, and like they've either adjusted to overlooking that pain, and so they have made certain decisions in life that kind of are in response to that pain or that trauma that don't make for healthy relationships, or it becomes an issue where some people have an issue even moving forward in life. Like, it's a lot of people who just stuck because they can't get past what mama did, what daddy did, and all it would really take is just a simple explanation of the circumstances. Because like I said, eventually people understand life. Just take the time to explain to your child the circumstances, and then make sure that moving forward, you keep that open dialogue. Because you can't just open that up and then close it and then never want to talk about it again. Sometimes we're going to have to revisit. Sometimes we're going to have to get into a heated discussion so I can figure this out. Because you did this. You created this situation. I'm just trying to fix it. So at some point, we're going to have a hard conversation about it. And I'm going to be mad, and you're going to feel away, and then eventually we might just fall out, but we'll come back together because I'm an adult now, and I understand. But imagine if you were there for your child before it even got to this point where I had to figure it out and heal for myself. You take the time to talk to your child now and explain now. Imagine how much easier, how much healthier, how much more of a whole person your child could be out here in this world. It's never not worth it to make that effort.
749-1230. Glenn says, these are things I thought were a given. I feel older. Maybe I should credit my parents. Yeah, you should credit your parents. Because they're not. They're not. Let me go to the phone. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. Sharif, you're on the bus.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
Much respect to you, Raven. This opens the door to a show that was either yesterday or the day before yesterday when Jimmy in the drive-in, in the back seat. Remember that show?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, I think his actions was unacceptable, totally unacceptable. And I wanted to get in on that show, but I just let it be. But seeing as though you opened the door again with this show.
Sharif, what's going on with your phone?
Nothing. I'll tell you what I do. Hold on.
Oh, come on. Don't Don't hang up on yourself.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, you got me now?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. If you don't ask me if I can hear you again.
All right, here we go. Okay.
All right.
All right, we're going. This took me back to
I heard all of the part about Jimmy. I heard all of that.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I'm going back to my past now. Back in the days when we all called ourselves players, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Until we come up on
Sharif?
Yes, I'm here.
Come on, bro. You got to get it out.
Okay, all right. Well, it took me back to when we, one night stands and all this until I came up on one particular girl that I was with and got down to her, like bra and panties or whatever. She laying there, right? But this girl in my bed kept her legs crossed. And I had to respect that and didn't go no further. When you say there's more than one way to say no, for a woman to say no. And that was an action that said no, not a verbal action. It was just her action, period, that says no. And do I agree with Cosby and what's his name that just got convicted? Dude. I don't, he's less than a man, both of them. But I'm just saying, I would never, ever, you know what I'm saying? I hate a man that can't talk up on something and have to take it. You know what I'm saying? That when a woman says no, she means no. Back off.
All right.
All right, peace.
All right. That was Sharif. So many questions, but it wasn't even. Let me get a break here. Okay, let me get a break in. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
101.5 The Buzz presents the Pink Lady Honors. Do you know?
So many questions. But he didn't, according to him, he didn't take it or something. So I guess that's good. And it is open line. So yeah. Thank you, Davis Denise. Was that a new topic inside of another topic? I'm confused. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even. I'm honest. Like I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I don't know. I don't know what he was saying. I mean, I think I get what he was saying, and I think I agree with what he was saying. I don't know how he got to what he was saying. And the girl on the bed in her bra and panties with her legs crossed was a nonverbal way of saying no. How did you? Okay. Tim said he's saying don't be rapey out here. That's kind of what he's saying, but that kind of sounded like rapey light. You know what I'm saying? It was like, how did you get to the bra and panties if she didn't want nothing? Like you just took them off and then you happened to glance over and you had a moment of clarity. Like she don't want this. I'm glad he had the moment of clarity. Oh. He don't. Vertus said these old dudes was out here just raping people. Vernon, yes, yes, they were, and that's what that's what I was trying to say about all of the messages and stuff. I'm always shocked because I don't think about rape all the time. I don't sit around thinking about rape. And so when we talk about it, and then I get the response from so many women, like, I was raped. Yeah, I was raped. I was raped. Emanuel, you done known me for this many years, but you didn't know that I went through this. Like, no, I had no idea. Yeah, we've been friends for so long, but you didn't know that. No, I had no idea. Oh, this happened to me. Oh, that happened to me. Oh, that happened to me. I'm like, do I know any women who were not sexually assaulted at some point in their life? Like, I don't, at this point, I'm questioning, do I know any? Like, I can't say that I know that every woman that I know was, but based on the stuff that keep coming, I'm like, do I know a single one? I ain't gonna run around asking women, was you raped when you was, No, I'm not gonna do that. But see, I don't know and I can't tell. But again, I don't be thinking about it. But I tell you what, oh, I got to go back. And we got open lines today. 749-1230. 749-1230. And let me just go back to the phone. Hold on, before I DJ Key, hold on a second, before I go to DJ Key. I was on the break, I was having a conversation with Miss Monday. And I was saying, I don't actually know that I know a single woman who, in my life, who has not been or who is not a survivor of sexual assault in some way, shape, or form. I don't walk around asking. But a few of those messages that I was talking about were from people that I know, like, oh, I went through this, and I'm like, I had no idea. Oh, I went through this, I had no idea. And I remember the last actual conversation I had with a young lady who shared her experience with me personally. And she began sharing her experience, and she had built-in excuses. Well, excuses ain't necessarily the right word. She had built-in blame for herself. Like we have trained some of these women to automatically take responsibility. Because the conversation was like, I was sexually assaulted. Now, I shouldn't have been there, and I shouldn't have had that much to drink, and I shouldn't have been there. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. It's you blaming you. it wasn't your fault. I don't care if you was somewhere where you had no business being and you was as drunk as a person can possibly be before dying of alcohol poisoning. None of that was your fault. Well, yeah, but I mean, I was in a position that I shouldn't have been in, and I allowed some stuff to happen that I shouldn't have allowed. It breaks my heart when I hear it, because we have taught women that in some way, shape, or form, you was at fault. So it's almost like they can't even share their truth without somehow internalizing it like I did something to deserve it. It was partially my fault. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. DJ Key.
Hey, let me just press the speaker. Okay, there you go. Hey, how you doing? I caught y'all show as I was getting back in from walking. Interesting. I always have issues when I hear like just like male, and I know because I don't hear enough female, but it's interesting because I was listening to the commercial that you all run a lot, about the kid is, when the dad's in the house, the kid is smarter and is this and that and another, and I'm like, when do mothers become stupid? When do females become, just because they had a baby, they can't do anything? I mean, I think, I was surprised that I hear more women calling being assaulted when they saying when the father's not in the household, the kid, with the father in the household, the kid is smarter and do all these great things because the father is there. When you got millions of lawyers and doctors that came from single-parent household, whether it be mom or dad, I think the majority of the problem, in my opinion, has a lot to do with the mentality of the person that's in the household. Now, as a man, I remember when I was younger, so I had my kids way too young. I mean, I could have got a lot of excuses for my behavior. I didn't grow up in a family like, quote, quote, family, without having the brothers and sisters. I didn't come up in a family type knit, I love you type of atmosphere. So when I had my first kids, I mean, I'm barely out of high school with someone I had no relationship with, and even though we had the kid around, it still took a long minute to grasp that. But one thing I used to do with my kids when they were younger, I would take them for walks and just talk with them, not to ask them anything specific, but just to listen to them so I would know what kind of kid I had. And it kind of made the mothers mad because when I was around, there was always this instant bond. It's like, you ain't around that much to be getting all this respect and stuff, but then realized I paid attention to the kid, so we developed a bond early. But that didn't make us perfect because as I got older and had to do more things like work and, try to have a social life, and then mothers, get bitter. So, you really got to be careful, and I tell this to guys, you got to be careful of when you have children with someone, whether y'all know each other or not, or what type of relationship y'all have, because sometimes half the story can get told if you're not around. And, villainized, you can get villainized. That's whether a man do it or a female do it. But what you mentioned about men teaching, you got to teach their daughter love and this and that, and, it just bothers me when we say about teaching boys things, yeah. But now, and I know, yeah, because my daughter, I believe in football, baseball, and just, all kind of things. I don't think they categorize as far as what you teach them and how you feel for them. I mean, and it's not just about sports. I'm saying about how you talk to them and caress and hold and love. But what I see, my opinion, what's going on now is causing more of this problem. That desire is not being spoke of, and it's desire that's causing early sexual relationships and uncontrolled, type of sexual relationship that's producing children. And it's producing children with people who did not have any really relationship with each other except a strong sense of desire and sex.
DJ Key?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll be honest. I'm not 100% sure what you're talking about. It seemed like on one hand, you're irritated by the fact.
Why would you bring irritation in it?
Because it seems like on one hand you're irritated by the fact that children, statistically, I guess, do better when the father is a part of their life.
No, is that what you heard? I don't know where your irritation part comes from. I said, no, I'm surprised that females aren't insulted by them saying that men, that with men in the household, children do so much better. Like, they're there and they're stupid. They can't do it. They can't, raise children.
No, but I think the reason why they're not insulted is because they realize that nobody actually means it that way.
But it's said that way. So how can you say what someone means when it's said? Because it is said that way in those actual words.
Who's saying it that way?
That commercial, you played
that commercial didn't say anything about women being stupid.
No, I ain't saying about women being stupid. I'm saying, but it does say that children are smarter, they do better, when the man is in the household. It does say that.
Right.
So
you're the only one who took that to mean that women are stupid.
No, I did not say. I said women should feel insulted because it makes it seem like they can't do. They can't raise a smart child if a man wasn't in the household.
But nobody, nobody views it that way.
And I said as if they were stupid. Something. I didn't say they were stupid. I got much respect for women. I've had supervisors. I got mentors that are female.
Yeah, binders of women.
But one of the things that I'm saying was bothering me is people keep overlooking the majority of this problem is because some men, because the reason why they're not in the household, because of the type of situation that created the child.
But I'm not talking about necessarily being in the household. I'm talking about being a part of...
Go ahead.
I'm talking about being a part of your child's life.
Right, and what I'm saying is some of that is not even possible because of how that child was produced. Okay, you got a preacher.
What does that mean?
Wait, okay, let me listen. You got a preacher that has a congregation, and, it happens. Preachers get, through attractiveness and things like that. Some of the, congregations, some of the young ladies have babies, can't really talk about who the dad is. You make a mistake and you and cousin, y'all been playing too much, y'all, got too tight, too close.
What are you talking about?
Wait. You got mom's boyfriend, y'all got too much excited with each other once and desire took over. You got a kid, but those type of kids can't know who their dad is.
I hate to break it to you, but in none of those situations does none of those men not have the ability to be in their child's life. That's a choice that they made.
No. Hey, that may be the choice that the mom made because she can't tell out of embarrassment of what she did.
I don't.
That's what I'm saying. Those type of relationships, and I'm talking from what I know from working. I'm talking from what I know from working in the field. That happens a lot. You can't tell who the father is because of who the father is.
Okay. All right, DJ Key, I appreciate your call. All right. That was DJ Key. And I appreciate his call. I don't know what he was saying. I mean, I could hear the words that he was saying, even though he was saying that he wasn't saying the words that he was actually saying.
I've heard the argument that he was trying to make before, that why we keep emphasizing that kids are somehow better or turn out better when a man is present instead of being raised by a single mother. And I know, and I feel like we've even had a conversation on the show before, and it got to that point, and it was a lot of single mothers who were offended by the idea. But nobody, when we're talking about what we're talking about today, ain't nobody saying that. Ain't nobody talking about that. Ain't nobody saying that single mothers always create terrible children or stupid children, or in that, like, that's not what anybody is saying right now. Emanuel was simply taking the moment to highlight the fact that for a lot of women who go through a lot of sexual trauma, who have an absentee father, it would just be great if he were there. That's the only discussion we're having today.
I don't. And let me say, there is no excuse, well, almost no excuse, why you can't be in your child's life. Look, if you're the preacher and you had sex with somebody in the congregation and you don't want to be honest about it, that don't mean you can't be a part of your child's life. That just means you choose not to. If you had a whatever with your girlfriend's mama and aunt, and the mama and aunt had a baby, I guess, and you know that's your baby, but y'all don't want to tell your whoever that her mama and aunt's baby is your baby, That's still your choice. You could be in the life of those children. There is almost no excuse. Almost no excuse. 749-1230. Patricia, I got to take a break. And when I come back, I'm going to Patricia. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
101.5 The Buzz and G Squared. Yeah. The face off from contact.
Jeannie said, I know what he was trying to say. Jeannie, help me. I believe you know. I believe you know. So I'm going to rely on you, Jeannie. You said, I understand what he is saying. Please explain it to me. Please.
John waited 12 years. Elizabeth.
Cinnamon says, I'm so confused listening to DJ Key.
Tyson waited 3 years. Mia waited 3 months. Bill waited 8 months. We remember all of those people who died waiting because their life-saving call never came. Their deaths left an empty spot in the lives of those that cared about.
Jeannie says, come on, y'all. There are plenty of people whose father could not be disclosed. Therefore, the child goes not knowing who the father is. And maybe the father does not even know. Really? Whose father? Give me a situation where the father cannot be disclosed. And again, I'm asking. Look, my life, I've lived an insulated life. So please give me an incident where the father can't be disclosed. I mean, short of, I don't know who the father is. You could always say, that's just my baby daddy. You could always say that. And that's it, maybe a rape victim. And in that case, that's why I said there's almost no excuse. Okay, maybe a rape victim. Okay. And like I said, there might be a way you don't know who the father is. You've been with multiple people or whatever. But other than that, Lewis says, how can a father be in the child life when the mother didn't even tell him he has a kid? And again, that's why I said almost. That's why I said almost. But, I mean, I think it's reasonable. Maybe I shouldn't. I'm assuming. I apologize for assuming. Sometimes you just have to say stuff. Because I said there's almost no reason. And I said that because I know I can't think of every single reason. Because there are a few. If you don't know that you have a child, it's going to be pretty hard for you to be in your child's life. Okay? I would have thought that everybody knew that, but apparently some people didn't know that. Some people didn't know that, you know, when I said there's almost no reason, that almost included cases, but other than those few cases. Because even a rape victim can reveal that the father is the person who raped me. So to say, well, she couldn't reveal who the father was, she could have. She might not know who he is, but she knows that this was a product of a rape. How are we supposed to know what you're almost mean? And again, I apologize. I just thought it was reasonable That reasonable people know that if the man has no idea that he has a child, that would be one of those reasons why he might not be in the child's life. And I apologize for assuming that reasonable people would understand that. I apologize. Afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. We're going to open lines today, but right now we're talking about women. We're talking about women. And well, I don't know, are we talking about women? We're not just talking about women, but I'm kind of discussing a number of things. The role of fathers as protectors and as lovers of their. See, when I say it like that, it don't sound good because we used to stuff being so unhealthy. Lovers of your daughters. The first male lover of your daughter. Someone who shows her pure, healthy love from a man. Among other things. 749-1230. Other things that I'm talking about. Patricia, you're on the bus.
Yes, how you doing? I was calling about you saying how the woman can feel like she was blaming herself for what happened.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's not really necessarily, always about how you grow up and if a mother and a father is there, because there been plenty of situations where the father was the person doing it. So the situation is, like for me, for instance, this has happened to me when I was younger, and even with me going to the police and to the people that I needed help, they blamed me right then and there when I was a child. So that also made it easier for me to blame myself. One police officer said that he didn't believe me because if he was the one to have did what happened to me, he would have bust my skull open. So it's just like, you really don't know what people go through.
Yeah.
But also, I'm currently a mother of 6. Black mother, single mother, strong mother. So, these are things that I have to talk to I have 5 daughters. I have to talk to my daughters about it. I have to, make them strong. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely tough to go through that.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry that you got blamed or that you even internalized that at some point and put that blame on yourself. And that's of course the point I'm making. That should never happen. That should never happen. It does. But we got to figure out a way to stop that from happening. We got to figure that out.
You're right. Because the question's going to get too bad, for you to accept that yourself, and then you'll go into depression. You won't be able to do certain things. Like, I have been able to come out of all of that. That don't bother me at all. It is what it is. God got me blessed. It's just that was a chapter I had to go through clearly in
Patricia,
my life.
Did you get counseling?
No, sir. My mama, a strong black woman.
Can I suggest you might want to consider counseling even now, even though you feel like you came through it? Can I suggest counseling might be helpful?
Yes, you can. I have, could have been going through a small part of PTSD. I was having small anxiety attacks, panic attacks. So in that situation, I totally understand. Yes.
And in terms of your children, are their fathers involved in their lives?
They're not live-in fathers, but they are involved in whenever they decide to come around, they'll be around.
Oh. Okay. So do your children have good relationships with them?
My first 3 daughters that are now 15, 14, and 12, yes, they have the most amazing relationship with their father, and he stick it to him. He is a great, strong father,
Good.
whether we live together or not.
Good. The other ones, not so much?
Oh, no. I think the other ones, you know, people do things, and I was working on kid number like 16 for their father without me knowing.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed something. Say that again.
Yeah, their father, he's got like 8 baby mamas and like almost 20 children.
Oh.
I didn't find out until recently, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that also is crazy because even that might not be me realizing that, you know, something was still being held on to, because I was with my oldest kid's father for 13, 14 years. When we got out that relationship, there to the, you know, new baby fathers, as mind you, it's only 3, 2, and 1. The whole relationship was manipulated. Everything.
All right. So yes, that like you said, that counseling might help you see something that's maybe in you that you're looking for or something. I don't know. I just want you to get some counseling and be healthy.
Yes.
All right. I appreciate you calling in.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. People blame themselves. I feel like I was headed down a road of some blame. That's why I said abort. I feel like I was about to say, see, you did this and you know. I'm not flawless, y'all. I'm learning this stuff too. I'm learning this stuff, just trying to be aware. I really was. I feel like I was headed down the road of, well, why did you choose that man? You know. Which I don't think is necessarily like a horrible question, but I believe, and women get mad at me for this. We've been through this a few times. I think, Raven, you might holler at me a little bit. But I still believe when it comes to stuff like that, y'all got a lot more power than y'all take hold of and use correctly.
What are you talking about?
In terms of choosing the men who father your children or who you decide to be in a relationship with. And
I'm not in disagreement there. And I like, we probably have gotten into it before about it, but I don't know if maybe at the time we were just misunderstanding each other, but I don't disagree with that sentiment. And I've even said myself, like, there are a lot of women who don't agree with me when I say this, but you definitely have the power to choose how you deal with partnership and parenthood. I make those choices for myself daily. And I ain't gonna say that I'm like spotless and I ain't never messed with no dude who either I had no business messing with or didn't deserve me or whatever the circumstance. I done been through hell and high water with men. So it's not like I've always made the best decisions. But I've definitely always been very adamant about protecting my body so that I don't end up in a situation where I'm having a kid with somebody that I don't want to have a kid with. And I've also been very like, I feel like a lot of people in general, but also women, we don't understand the power of finding ourselves and loving ourselves first before we go out here and try to find a partner. A lot of us be trying to do it in tandem, and it don't always work like that.
And I think some of that, and this is just me thinking, don't beat me up, but I think some of that might come from some of these not so good relationships with fathers.
Definitely for me. Oh, for sure. I had to completely, especially after going through my sexual trauma, I had no, like at that point, my trust, my care, I didn't even feel safe around men after that. So I had to literally work from scratch to get to a point where I could even look at a man and be like, okay, I trust you. And then after that point, okay, I love you. And now I say it all the time, I'm so grateful for the men that I currently have in my life, whether they be friends, family, or whatever, because I'm now able to clearly see how those men care about me and love me and protect me. So it makes it a lot easier when I go out here and I'm dating or whatever, or doing whatever, to see that in other men. That's what that is. Like, I say this all the time too, I need for a lot more women to just get you some platonic male friends, because they'll keep it real with you. They really will. Like, get you more platonic male friends.
Women don't be listening. Women don't be listening. Well, let me get a break in here. Got to take a break. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel. Y'all know I love black love. Did y'all know that? The king of talk loves black love. Healthy black love. And I think all of these issues that we see in the community and all that stuff start in the family. And we got to get this family thing together to get that community thing together. And if we don't talk about it and we don't think about it, and we going to keep doing the same thing and we going to keep ending up in the same spot. Let me take a break. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
Here's what you need to know with Sybil Wilkes.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Congressional Democrats are scrambling to extend funding for the federal government with less than 48 hours left to avoid a partial shutdown. Possible shutdown would...
Carl says he does not feel safe around most women. Carl does not feel safe around most women. Carl, sorry, y'all, my eye is itching now. I think it's looking at Raven on camera. Got my eye itching. Line one. Carl, are you being serious or... Are you being serious or are you being silly? Glenn says, and when he says, great point, Raven. To a happy anniversary to Tracy and Mike Dillingham. Speaking of black love. All right. I do love black love. Purple Pro say something like 16% of black men father 80% of black children. I don't know about that. I would have to look that up. Yeah, that's a whole bunch of hunching by a small group of black men. Glenn. Justin says, to Carl's comment, where he don't feel safe around most women, Justin says, especially in this day and time, that Me Too movement will catch up with you 50 years later. Not if you're not out there raping people. I'm not, well, I mean, as a married man, but even if I wasn't married, I'm not worried about the Me Too movement. I'm not worried about it. You shouldn't worry about it if you're not out there doing bad stuff. What you got to worry about? You drugging chicks? Justin? You raping them? They laying on the bed with their legs closed. You prying them open. What are you doing to be worried about? Women hate to their own thoughtish behavior. Women know when a man ain't S and isn't of dipping, they match his ain't as status, then boom, you got a kid or 3 involved in some dysfunctional structure. Jericho says, and we shame when we attempt to call him out about it. Angela says, conversations would go a bit differently if women admit they have low self-esteem, self-worth, and they ignored the signs, stayed when they should have left. That's real. Lewis says, the father not knowing they have a kid is a part of the reason so many children are being molested. So don't be dismissive. No, it's not. No, it's not. To the top of the hour. 101.5 The Buzz of Cincinnati. We're your talk station. On and on and on and on. It's the afternoon experience. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you until 3 o'clock. And can I read y'all a couple comments from the Facebook page? Just a couple comments. Oh no, where's this one? Someone says, I'm not going to put your name out there because I don't want to embarrass you like that. The father not knowing they have a kid is part of the reason so many children are being molested. So don't be so dismissive. That's what someone says on Facebook. Someone said they're scared of being alone with women. And then another person responded, especially in this day and time, the Me Too movement will catch up to you 50 years later. All right, let me address both of these. Not at the same time. Let me go with the last one first. There's no reason for you to not feel safe around women because of the Me Too movement. No reason. Well, maybe no reason. Are you raping them? You drugging them and having sex with them? You're locking them in rooms and making them do horrible stuff. You're threatening them if they don't have sex with you, this is going to happen to them. If you're not doing bad stuff to these women, why are you worried about Me Too? I sit across from Raven Monday almost every day. I'm not wondering 50 years from now what's going to happen. Because although, we in talk radio, so we have some conversations that we probably wouldn't have outside of the talk radio realm. I'm not ever going to do anything to Raven. 50 years from now, she going to come back and say, he did this to me. And I'm going to be like, no, I didn't. Knowing I did. It's never going to happen.
And I've never, ever gotten any kind of inclination that it would.
So why would I be afraid to be around Raven in the Me Too era? Be honorable. Be honorable, and you don't have to worry about that. If you got a chick on your bed with her legs crossed in her bra and panties and you prying her legs apart talking about, you in my bed, we gonna do this, now you got something to worry about. But you shouldn't be worried.
I feel like people who are worried are people who constantly find themselves in these quote unquote tricky, confusing situations. That's a you issue, bro. Why is it so hard for you to just have like regular, like, I ain't gonna even say regular sex because I'm not gonna kink shame nobody, but like, why is it so hard for people to understand the difference between whether or not somebody actually wants to have sex with you or not? It's not hard to figure out. It's really not.
And the other comment was fathers not knowing that they have a kid is part of the reason children are being molested. No, it's not. I know y'all be thinking I be lying when I say I know somebody, but I just don't be wanting to give out their name. I know somebody who didn't know that he had a son for years. Didn't know. had no idea whatsoever. Guess what? He never molested no kids. What does one have to do with the other? That kind of sounds like some sick stuff. This is the excuse making that I'm talking about. This is the excuse making that I'm talking about. Somebody else says women get offended if men whistle at them. Well, okay, don't whistle at them. But I don't, so what? We're not talking about just somebody getting offended. Just somebody getting offended. Come on. Come on, y'all, this stuff ain't hard. Respect yourself, respect women, respect your kids. Do the honorable thing at all times. And we can solve a lot of this stuff. Like, I really don't. Glenn said earlier in one of his messages, he thought this stuff was just understood. He just thought that, why are they even talking about this stuff? Don't nobody believe that stuff. Don't nobody believe all of that old crazy stuff that they talking about. Yeah, they do. And we have to have these conversations to get people to realize. I'm arguing with people that they shouldn't have to rape people. And they try to come up with all different reasons why they should be able to rape people. I'm arguing with people that they shouldn't molest children. And I'm having to argue with people to convince them that they shouldn't molest children, even if they don't believe that they have children. What sense does that make? You coming up with excuse after excuse after excuse to do wrong. You are harming people. You are harming this community. You are harming, if you got kids and you're not in their lives, you harming those kids. And I can't believe that we have to keep having these conversations. Come on, y'all. I know, not the majority of y'all. The majority of y'all are probably like, come on. But it's not, believe it or not, like a small number of people who we having to have these conversations with. It's a lot of people. All right, let me get this break in. And I don't know that I can take this conversation anymore. Not today. Not today. Maybe another day. I mean, it's the good fight. You know what I'm saying? It's the good fight. But it wear you down that you got to keep having the good fight. Why do I have to have these conversations? Men, don't rape women. What is hard about that? What's hard about that? That shouldn't even be anything that we should debate. And you really need to kind of check yourself. If the conversation is men don't rape women and be in the lives of your children and be a healthy role model for your child in every way, why would there be any pushback to that? Oh, let me get the break in. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
WDBC Cincinnati, home of the afternoon experience with Emanuel Livingston and keeping it real with Al Sharpton. Weekday.
It's annoying and irritating. Lewis, it's annoying and irritating. Lewis, don't rape nobody. Period. Don't rape nobody. Carl says, I heard no pushback. You must not be able to read then. I see pushback for days on both pages. And Lewis, he gonna defend it. Lewis, I'm worrying about you now. First, we're not talking about not going to prison. We just talking about, in general, don't rape people. And you keep trying to come up with reasons why either it's okay to rape people, or if you accuse of rape, don't mean you rape nobody. Lewis, just don't rape people. Lewis, will you promise me? You think I'm dumb, all that kind of stuff. Will you just promise me, if you've raped before, you won't rape again?
Did you miss something? Catch the rebroadcast. You can do it again. For the full schedule, go to thebuzzcincy.com.
Four minutes after, 101.5, The Buzz of Cincinnati. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you until 3 o'clock. I got the TV on CNN. I thought I saw something that just said they came to a deal on the budget so that maybe there won't be a shutdown. But it as soon as I glanced up, it went away. So I'm not sure if they've come to a deal or not yet. But they are still meeting with the White House. Joe Biden's trying to make sure that his agenda, his fiscal agenda gets through. And you got a couple of senators standing in the way. Senator Sinema from Arizona and Joe Manchin, who's from West Virginia, right? Standing in the way. And their White House has met with them four times in the past 2 days. I was reading earlier where Joe Manchin said he can't see them having any sort of agreement in the next few days. That's how far apart they are. So we'll keep an eye on that. See what happens. We'll see what happens. This story, the FBI data shows that murders have surged. According to the 2020 numbers, murder rose by nearly 30% in 2020, with more than 21,500 reported last year. That was up from 16,669 in 2019. And that's according to the FBI. Now, look, I think I'm pretty clear on where I am on FBI statistics. Number one, they're voluntary. CPD, for example, doesn't have to report their numbers. So these statistics are voluntary, but we use them because they are some sort of an indicator of where we are in terms of crime. They say that is an unprecedented 1 year rise. And they can't blame it on black people. They can't blame it on black people because they don't know. According to the statistics, the statistics, if I can get it out, don't say how the people were murdered. It's just, this was a murder. So this is all shootings. No, this is everything. The FBI report, which covers slightly more than half the U.S. population, does not list reasons for violence. Experts said it would be difficult to pinpoint the causes of killings nationwide. But they say factors like gun ownership and the coronavirus pandemic could have played a role. So I don't know for sure. We don't have definitive answers. Now, reports of violent crime, which includes homicide, rape, aggravated assault, and other crime, were also up. The rate of violent crime spiked by about 5%. By about 5%. There were 243,600 robberies reported last year. And they say that number declined from 2016. Burglaries have seen a decline as well. More than 126,400 rapes were reported. They say that that's also a decline. 143,224 were reported in 2019. And they say property crimes appear to be a bright spot. Those dropped for 18 straight years. 18 straight years. So it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag. But again, you know, from my perspective, I take FBI statistics, as they say, with a grain of salt. Because they're voluntary. They're voluntary. I don't think anybody actually checks them to see. Nobody actually checks them to see if they're actually even reported accurately. By that I mean, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, you are such a conspiracy theorist. But I mean, if you want your city to seem safer or whatever in the crime statistics, then you could underreport stuff. What, the FBI ain't checking? Like, let me see the news. The news said it was 61 murders. They told us it was 50. Nobody's checking. So I just don't trust FBI statistics. But I mean, they're a snapshot of sort. They're a snapshot of sort. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. I wanted to talk about this yesterday, but I didn't get to it. Did everybody see when the View hosts, what was it, Sunny, whatever her name, Houston, is that how you pronounce it? And Anna Navarro, they yanked them off of the View because they tested positive for the coronavirus, even though they're fully vaccinated. Now, this is my conspiracy theorist coming out. This is my conspiracy theorist coming out. You know, they're coming back now saying, no, those were false positives. Those were false positives. Because they don't want the narrative to get out there. This is my theory. They don't want the narrative to get out there that these fully vaccinated people are testing positive for the coronavirus. Because y'all know how they doing us with the coronavirus. Y'all know how they doing us. Take it. You won't get the virus. No, they're not actually saying that, but that's the suggestion. You won't get the virus. You won't get the virus.
So you now believe because Sonny Houston and Anna Navarro were pulled mid-air off of the View for testing positive for COVID, that they are attempting, this is a cover-up, so to speak. We are watching a cover-up take place.
I do.
Of the true understanding of how effective the vaccine is. That is your current theory.
My current theory, because I have to revise what you said just a little bit.
Okay, please do.
My current theory is, yes, they are revising it, not necessarily to cover up its efficacy, but it's like a PR move. Like they don't want it in people's heads that you could be fully vaccinated, testing positive.
But I feel like if that was the case, they wouldn't have made a whole show of pulling them off air, mid-air.
But that's why that they did that, because they kind of had to do it to be safe. They kind of had to do it to be safe. Like, let's pull them off the air. But then it's like, ooh, did y'all see how that looked?
you don't think the person running the show wasn't gonna be like, cause like, I just feel like somebody who was running a show, who was running a TV production, they're going to be quite mindful of anything that happens. Because I know stuff happens on air on a live show that you can't quite control. But like, this was a taping.
But Kamala Harris, you know what I'm saying? They got to get them out of there. You know, Kamala Harris is coming. Get them out of there. They even went and pulled, what's her name, Sonny's husband. He's a surgeon, I guess. They pulled him out of surgery. Like, you got to go. You got to get out of there. They pulled him out of surgery. But now they come back, oh, no, it was just a false positive.
You don't believe that it was a false positive?
I don't.
So you believe that they got it, but you don't believe that it was a false positive?
Yeah. I believe they got it. And they just like, this is too many of these vaccinated people coming up with the virus. Like, we can't, and that was a big deal. Let's fix that one.
I don't watch The View, but are they like back on the show now then, since it was a quote-unquote false positive?
I don't know. I don't watch it either.
Somebody who watches The View, please call in and let me know if the next day or whenever they found out if they're back now, like currently doing the show. Because if not, then I can go with you. Because otherwise, they on a 2-week quarantine. You know this.
Not necessarily. Not if they want to. What do they care? Like, they just want people to get the shot. They don't care about those people in that studio. Okay, they got the virus. So what? Put them out there.
But
it's all
if
PR.
we're going to go with your conspiracy theory, then we have to stick to what we know, which is if you have been diagnosed with COVID, you are required to do a 2-week quarantine.
Unless you say it was a false positive. And now the people who were vaccinated.
I'm saying that's the point that I'm making. So if in actuality these people do have COVID, I don't think that they'll be that reckless. Like you said, Kamala's coming.
Why wouldn't
think that they be that reckless to
why
just
not?
push them back into the studio positive with COVID?
Yeah. You put them back out there. No, it was an accident. They didn't actually test positive. No, they didn't. No, they're out there. See, the vaccine works. Go get the vaccine. See how it works. Go get it. They're still on the air. I'm just telling y'all, I believe, I don't necessarily believe in the false positive.
So somebody just called and said that they got pulled from the show on Friday and they were back on Monday. These people ain't got COVID.
Well,
and they never tested positive. I am now fully on board with the conspiracy theory. Because there's no way you actually have COVID if, like, maybe it is this is the thing. If it was a false positive, it would make sense that they're back on Monday because they don't have COVID. But if they actually tested positive for COVID, then I feel they would probably be on a 2-week quarantine right now.
Again, hold on. Follow the logic. Because it's quite logical, all right? It's quite logical what I'm saying. I got to use you as my example, all right?
Okay.
Because I don't want to use Lincoln because, he get mad. Let's say we got you vaccinated, right? And, we trying to push everybody to get vaccinated. So Raven Monday comes out and Raven says, I'm fully vaccinated. Well, I don't know. Joe Biden is coming in to do an interview. He got up the nerve to come on my show. And he like, I'm going in to take on the king. So you know what they going to do. They going to test us all. And they test you and you test positive. So they like, you got to get Raven out of here. Sanitize the studio. We get you out. We sanitize the studio. Joe Biden come in. We do the interview. It's all good. But remember, we pushing the vaccine. So the next day we say, psych, that was a fake. That was a false positive. Raven never actually had it. They don't care about me getting it. They cared about Joe Biden getting it. So then we bring you in the next day and say, that was a false positive. You got it all day. You still positive as hell.
But why would my coworkers even put up y'all wouldn't want me
because we are pushing this vaccine narrative. We are pushing it.
Demise of my other, so you would be perfectly fine. I know you wouldn't, but in this scenario, you're making it seem as if you and Lincoln would be perfectly fine with possibly catching COVID
because we are pushing. We are pushing it. We don't want the idea out there that all of these people who are vaccinated are coming down with the coronavirus. So yeah, we'll bring you back in. Why not? It ain't hurting Joe Biden. He ain't here no more.
So Joe Biden is the only person that matters in this situation?
Yes. Joe Biden and getting that virus out. I mean, that vaccine out. Get the vaccine. Get that vaccine. Get that vaccine. If you had a real positive, some people would be like, ooh, I don't know about that vaccine. But if, oh no, I'm vaccinated. It was a false positive. Okay, I'll get vaccinated too because it works. Just a theory. Just a theory. They trying to cover. And you might hear a lot less now. You might hear a lot less now about breakthrough cases. Not because they're not happening, because they don't want you to know. How many times have you heard about the case that I just told you about today of the 2 people fully vaccinated dying of COVID-19? Shouldn't that be all over the news?
To me, it would make pretty big news.
But have you seen it?
Not necessarily.
Because they don't want that out there. Because they don't want that story out there. Now y'all all saying I'm sounding crazy. Okay.
They think you sound like a Trump supporter right now.
Okay. I'm not.
Like an alt-right
crazy
person.
I'm just telling y'all. I'm just telling you. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board.
Random question, but do you think it's possible to be so wrong that you're right?
That's too deep for me. Let me get this break. I'm late for the break, ain't I? It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
101.5 The Buzz and Walker Funeral Home presents the Black Business Spotlight. This month, we are shining the spotlight on Deion Jackson, owner of Kenwood's Hair.
I see. Yeah, Lewis says, why don't y'all think Emanuel be raping MFs? He talked about the S every day. He's obsessed with the subject. We all know what deflection looks like. That ain't even slick. You just spent, 10 minutes defending rape, and then you're going to try to spin it like, I think Emanuel the rapist. Come on, bruh. Come on. That don't even, nobody's falling for that. But like I said, he done spent 10 minutes defending rape. Well, actually more than that, because he was talking about the fact that if you don't know you got a kid, you might molest somebody. So he done spent a good 30 or so minutes defending rape and molestation. And then his comeback is, how y'all know Emanuel ain't a rapist? That was weak. That was weak. Glenn said Emanuel doesn't have rapey tendencies. I'm definitely not on here defending. So, Emanuel, you stated that the number of people dying from COVID is low and giving the impression, I hate when it jumps like that, and giving the impression that people are overly concerned. Doesn't the same apply even if two people died? Isn't the death rate from vaccines so low that we shouldn't be overly concerned? Correct. You shouldn't be overly concerned about the death rate from the vaccine. You shouldn't be. Jerica says false positives are a real thing, folk. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying I don't believe it in this case. Kid said E-Man taking rump.
The prestigious Harvard Medical School is breaking ground today, opening its doors to new female applicants.
Oh, he mad. Don't be mad at me. You never did make me that promise, Lewis. Can you make me that promise? I'm not saying that you have ever raped anyone, but will you promise me that from today moving forward, you will not rape anyone, you will not molest any children? Because you defending it like crazy. And I just want you to say you're defending it in theory, but it's something you would never do. Even though that's still terrible, but all right. No more message passing. If they got something to say, they got to go on, or you can't pass the message. All these people calling in, tell him this, tell him that, tell him this, tell him that. You call in. Well, you did call in. You hold on and you tell me. I got a little upset.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make them.
Carl says that's terrible. I don't know what's terrible.
Fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. Learn more at wearebroadcasters.com/hope. Furnished by the National Association.
Lewis says he never defended Rafe. I don't know who Rafe is. But are you willing to say that you will not rape anyone? That should be simple. We're your talk station. It's the afternoon experience. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I am with you. Until 3 o'clock this afternoon. Someone says I'm reading comments contrary to. I'm not reading comments contrary to my position. That's not true. I read your comments. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. It's the afternoon experience. And what do you perceive my position to be? Just because I believe that this is a little bit of a conspiracy theory. Again, I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm anti the misinformation about the vaccine. But I'm very pro-vaccine. Raven, haven't I encouraged you to get the vaccine?
Yes, you have.
Repeatedly?
Yes, you have.
Yeah. If I was anti, I wouldn't do that.
Literally every time we talk about the vaccine, the very first thing you say is, I encourage you to go get vaccinated. That's literally the first thing you say every time.
Yeah. I don't know how that ends up being anti-vaccine. I just don't encourage with, be afraid. If you don't get the vaccine, you're going to die. I don't encourage that way. Let me go to the phone. Ramona, you're on the buzz.
Hi.
Hi.
I heard that when you talking about the couple in Michigan.
Yes.
Nobody knows what they're doing. I mean, they could have been around people who were not vaccinated, and even if you are vaccinated, they still encourage you to conduct yourself as if you wasn't vaccinated, like social distancing, still wear your mask, even, indoors and outdoors. So, they could have been around mass people who were not, who had the virus and didn't have any symptoms. So
They could have been, but they were fully vaccinated and they died from COVID-19.
that's what I'm saying. Even if you are fully vaccinated, you didn't hear what I said. Even if you're fully vaccinated, they're saying that you still should do the same thing. You still should wear your mask. You still should social distancing. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Because, even if you're vaccinated, they're just encouraging people to still do that.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So we don't know if they were not doing that, and if they weren't, maybe that's why. You don't know. I mean, I see what you're saying, but I'm just saying that maybe it could have turned out differently had they did those things if they didn't do it. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Okay, that's all I wanted to say.
All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You said it. I appreciate it. That's Ramona. The story was a fully vaccinated Michigan couple dies from COVID-19 a minute apart while holding hands. That's a beautiful story. Forget the died part. They was holding hands, and it was a minute apart. Forget the fully vaccinated part. They was holding hands, and it was a minute apart. All I'm saying is the vaccine, the people who are out there pushing it exceptionally hard are trying to push the narrative that if you get the vaccine, you good. And if you don't, you're dead. If you get the vaccine, you good. And if you don't, you're gonna die. I'm just saying, understand that there's risks all over the place. There's risks. If you have the vaccine, you could still die from the coronavirus. If you don't have the vaccine, you could still die from the coronavirus. If you don't have the vaccine, believe it or not, you could get the coronavirus and not die. You could actually get the coronavirus and have zero symptoms. Zero. Like zero. Like you wouldn't even know you had it if you didn't get tested. Zero. That kind of zero. That's all I'm saying. Now, if that makes you say, well, I don't want to go get the vaccine, that's on you. Don't blame me for that. But that's just the truth. That's the truth. Somebody said it's two-faced. How's the truth two-faced? That's all I'm pushing for is the truth. And, of course, I have a conspiracy theory or two. Just pushing the truth. All right, let me get a break in here. It's the Afternoon Experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
Morning show. What's up, y'all? It's Russ Parr. You got to get up to par in the morning because
Victor Sweet says he's been vaccinated since April. Everybody, clap. Victor! Yeah! Victor! Woo! Victor! I'm sorry, I don't have a virtual cookie to give you. I'm sorry. Victor says he was responding to a comment, not making an announcement. I know. I was just clapping. I'm happy you're vaccinated. Why can't I clap? And maybe even give you a virtual cookie if I had one. Lewis is still here going. Lewis said, y'all notice this biatch defending the government for locking up black people for crimes they didn't do. Yeah, because everybody hears me do that every day. He says, rape is the oldest trick in the book to lock up an innocent black man, and he know that. Jerica says, playing devil's advocate. You don't have to play devil's advocate. You can just ask the question. Didn't the couple in Michigan have pre-existing conditions? Yes, they did. I read that in the story. But they're vaccinated, so they should be fine, right? That's the narrative that they keep trying to put out there. If you got pre-existing conditions, then you definitely got to get it, because then you'll definitely die if you get. Well, they died of COVID-19, according to the report. See, I didn't leave out the fact that they died, that they had pre-existing conditions. I actually said that because I'm all about the truth. I'm not trying to spin it. I'm not trying to spin it. But how many people have you heard say, if you don't get the vaccine, you're going to die? I've heard a lot of people say that. The people are upset they can't hear Raven. She doesn't have any batteries in her microphone over there for the off-air thing, and that's her fault. Because you don't be charging the batteries. I mean, you don't be turning off the mic when the show is over, and then so they be dying. And then so I be running out of batteries, and I have to take the batteries from over there for over here and all that kind of stuff. Uh-oh, here go Victor. It's possible they died from the flu virus. That's not what they said, Victor. It's not what they said. They died from COVID-19. They died from COVID-19. Now, you want it to be the flu. Anything. See, that's the stuff I'm talking about. Instead of just saying, it happens. It's sad, but it happens. Just, it's everything else. What could have been this? What could have been that? What about this? What about that? They could have been hit by lightning right before they got the coronavirus, and that was what could, come on. Minutes after 101.5 The Buzz of Cincinnati, we're your talk station. It's the afternoon experience. My name is Emanuel Livingston. And I'm getting pushback. I'm getting pushback about the people who died of COVID-19. And come on, y'all. Look, see, and again, I believe that this is a part of why there are some people who don't want to get the vaccine. Some people who don't want to get it because they're not trusting y'all, because y'all trying to spin everything, which is why I believe my conspiracy theory about the View. Check this out. How would this look? You ready? And this is just off the top of my head, right? Just off the top of my head. You ready? A fully vaccinated Michigan couple dies 1 minute apart from COVID-19. And they came down with the virus earlier this month. They had pre-existing conditions, but they were very cautious. They came down with symptoms during a recent camping trip. Days later, they were hospitalized and put on ventilators. They did not improve. Doctors told the family they would need to come off life support. And they died 1 minute apart in the same room holding hands. Now check this out. Check this out. Here's the part that would be amazing. And people, probably more people would go ahead and get the vaccine. If the vaccine people said, that's sad. But that is something that can happen. That's sad, but that is something that can happen. No. And I know y'all listening in terrestrial radio land don't see it, but I'm getting messages like, maybe it was the flu virus. No, it was the coronavirus. Well, it was the pre-existing conditions that got them. No, it was the coronavirus. Like, what about, that's sad, but that can happen. Because when you try to, well, okay, it's not 100%, but then every time something happens, you got to excuse why it happened. Well, maybe they wasn't wearing no personal protection equipment and they just went into a coronavirus room where everybody had coronavirus and they was just sucking the air out of their faces. Or, you know, it happens and it's sad that it happened. It's not 100% effective, and that's going to happen to some people. But that's what I'm saying. When y'all keep trying to spin it, stop trying to spin it. And then people would be like, you know what? At least they being honest about it. At least they being honest about it. And stop with the scare tactics. How many times have we heard, if you don't get the vaccine, you're going to die? I've heard experts, quote unquote, experts and doctors say that. If you don't get the vaccine, you're going to die. Heard a dude yesterday on one of the other shows. Yeah, good man. For the people who don't get the vaccine, you know, man, it's going to catch up with you and it's going to kill you. Really? Really? Good man. Really? Everybody who not vaccinated gonna die. That's the stuff. Stop spinning us. Trying to scare us. Stop it. All right. From one outbreak to another. Salmonella outbreak from unknown source spreads to 29 states. Yeah, apparently there's a salmonella outbreak. I didn't know there was a salmonella outbreak, but let me tell y'all this. Y'all better be careful about that salmonella. Y'all know I got a story for everything. And they're all true. Oh no, somebody said, they say it's going to kill you or it could kill you. They say it's going to kill you. He's going back to the coronavirus. They say, I've heard this countless times. If you get the coronavirus, you got two choices. A ventilator and die, or just die. Those are your two choices, and you're going to be wishing you would have took the vaccine. Come on, we know that's not true. We see a whole lot of people who got it and didn't die and wasn't on a ventilator. Stop saying stuff like that. Now back to salmonella. And this is a true story. All my stories are true. When the kids was little, they got salmonella poisoning. And they had to, with the little girl, they had to put a little tube in her chest so that they could inject the medicine directly into her heart. That's the way it was explained to me. And so I can't remember how many times a day, there were these big vials of medicine. And there was this electric pump, if you want to call it that. These big vials of medicine. I mean, like some TV stuff that you see where they got like a big giant syringe. And I had to put it in the pump. And they had the tube coming out of her chest. And I had to sterilize the tube. Put the the gigantic syringe on and connect that to a machine so that it could, over the course of, I'm gonna say maybe 10 minutes, slowly push the medicine in, slowly, over the course of about 10 minutes. And then I had to disconnect everything, take everything off, sterilize it, and I think I had to do that 3 times a day for maybe a week. Salmonella ain't nothing to play with. It ain't nothing to play with. Not for little kids anyway. An ongoing salmonella outbreak from an unknown food source has spread to 29 states, federal health officials warn. The outbreak infected nearly 280 people and more than 24 that have been hospitalized, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention's latest update, which was issued on September 23rd. They say there have been no deaths associated with the fast-growing outbreak. They created a map showcasing where people impacted by the salmonella outbreak live. So far, Texas has the most reported illnesses with 81. Illinois and Virginia have 23 and 22, respectively. Minnesota with 19, Massachusetts with 10. And, that rounds out the top 5. The agency cautioned that the map may not represent all of the cases because many people recover without medical care or are not tested for salmonella. So I'm just letting y'all know it's out here. They don't know what the food source is. They say it's an unknown food source. So do all of that food safety stuff. Wash your hands. When you keep the area sanitary where you're cooking. Don't be like cooking your pork and then the baby drop the pacifier and then you pick it up with your pork hands and give it back to the baby. You know what I'm saying? Just common sense, hygiene and germ stuff, common sense stuff.
I would have thought people was already doing that. We done just came through a whole global pandemic and we still in it. So I'm like, everything since 2019 for me has been very sterile.
Hey, Davidson, he said, put bleach in the dishwater. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Because that salmonella, like I said, for kids, like chances are if you get it, you'll be all right. You might get sick. You might not have the best time when you go to use the restroom. Might not be enjoyable. But for kids, little kids, it'll mess them up. And yeah, cook your food all the way.
I'm sorry, but I'm not finna eat a tough, well-done steak. Not that I even eat red meat anymore, but I'm just saying. Whoever out there eating well-done steak, you not living right.
What are you talking about?
You're not living right.
Ain't nothing wrong with a good well-done steak.
It's burnt.
If I'm going to eat steak.
And it's dry.
If I'm going to eat steak, it's going to be well done. I don't know who was cooking your well-done steak, but they was doing it wrong.
No, well-done steak is disgusting. It's like trying to chew cardboard.
They was cooking it wrong.
If you say so.
Some say the steak is overrated, but they just ain't doing it right.
It's got to have a little pink. Just a little bit, not too much, just a little bit.
I'm team well done. I don't want to see no pink.
Depending on the restaurant, for me it's either medium or medium rare. It just depends on the restaurant because some people don't know what medium rare means.
I'm not even a steak eater, but on the few occasions when I cook the out of that meat.
So burn it and make it tasteless and dry.
I don't know who was cooking. Let me get a break. I don't know who was cooking your steak. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
101.5 The Buzz and Walker Funeral Home presents the Black Business Spotlight. Nominate your
Yeah, I don't do that pink. I don't do that pink. Let me see. I'll be right back, y'all. Enjoy some commercials.
For more details or to nominate a black business for the spotlight, go to thebuzzcincy.com. Need childcare? Call Adventure Kids. The goal of Adventure Kids is to provide flexible hours to accommodate your life. 2 locations in Fairfield and Roselawn. Now more than ever, we know how important it is to make sure your children are safe. Adventure Kids is operating in compliance with Ohio's requirements for COVID-19. That means smaller class sizes, wearing masks, frequent cleaning, and eliminating visitors. If your child is ready to be an Adventure Kid, then call today, 513-841-2227. That's 841-2227.
To me, public service isn't a job. It's about commitment. That's Scotty Johnson. I spent 33 years in public safety, committed to keeping our streets safe. I've advised mayors and police chiefs. I'm committed to making sure policing is done fairly. Now our city's at a crossroads and the stakes are high. That's why I'm running for city council, because I'm committed to making sure our city works for everyone.
Paid for by Friends of Scotty Johnson for City Council.
Did you get all the stimulus money for you and your family? Do you have children and didn't know you could receive monthly child tax credit payments? You can claim your monthly child tax credit payments and missing stimulus payments even if you don't file a traditional tax return. Visit ssa.gov/EIP to learn how you can apply online. Get the money your family deserves. Visit ssa.gov/EIP. Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job? Friends were spending money, went to help feed his little sisters? Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can eat dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who's...
Broken Wing says, Popeyes messed me up with salmonella in the 90s. Glenn said, my mama taught me about bleach in the dishwater. Purple Pro says, why weren't your kids treated in the hospital? Was it your choice to treat at home? Well, I mean, they went to the hospital. It was a surgical procedure to insert the thing into the heart, but they wasn't going to keep them there. I can't remember if it was a week or 2 weeks or however long it was. They wasn't going to keep them there all that time. Just, it was just the way they did it. I didn't even think twice about it. They did the procedure. I think they stayed overnight. And then they sent us home with instructions, and a nurse came over a few times just to make sure everything was looking good and we were doing everything the way we were supposed to do, or I was doing everything the way it was supposed to be done. And I didn't even think about it. Like, why can't they do this at the hospital? And they said they sending them home. I was cool with that. I didn't want them in the hospital anyway. But no, that was just the way that they chose to do it. Louis still going on about the rape. I didn't call you a rapist. I just asked, were you comfortable saying that you wouldn't rape anybody? And apparently you're not comfortable saying that. Okay. I never called you a rapist. Eight minutes to the top of the hour. 101.5, The Buzz of Cincinnati. We're your talk station. 8 minutes to the top of the hour. A little bit of talk about when did, and I don't know. When I was coming up, every black person I know was well done. Every black person I know, well done. And then out of nowhere, We want medium rare and all that nonsense. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
You say that like that's a bad thing.
It is.
No, it's not.
In my opinion.
People over time, we learned that we don't have to burn our meat to death in order for it to taste like something.
It's already dead.
It is.
So you're not burning it to death. Number two, you know, I got to jump on that. I could not jump on that. And number two, again, I don't know who cooking your food. Well done meat does not have to be tough.
I've had well
or
done
dry
meat from plenty of places, and it's all been tough and hard to eat and even cut through it. Like it's not an enjoyable experience. I much prefer slicing through my medium well to medium rare steak with just a little pink in the middle. It's very juicy. It's not a whole lot of blood. It's not like it's not gonna kill you. Like, you'll be fine.
I won't.
I'll slice through my medium to medium well to medium rare steak and be satisfied and like the way it tastes, because it actually tastes like meat and not the million seasonings they put on top of it to cover up the fact that they burnt it.
You be going to places where they don't know how to cook. And I'm not even a steak guy. But when I eat steak, it's going to be well done. It's going to be well done. But look, it don't make you a bad person. It don't make you a bad person. You still all right with me. You still all right. I do have a quick question, though. Just a quick. Why are some people so loud? Why are some people so loud? Hold on.
That's the wrong person.
I was minding my business driving down the street, right? In my neighborhood in Avondale. And and this is the first time I've ever seen anybody doing it. Not that it hadn't been happening for a long time. But they done put some of them scooters in the neighborhood. And so some of the teenagers was riding the scooters. And it was 3 girls. And really wasn't nobody out, except for it was some little kids over at the basketball court playing basketball, and they riding the scooters. But they were being as loud as and not, like, I'm not even anti, I'm having fun loud, but just like attention-seeking loud. Can ride that scooter. And I'm like, why? Why are you that loud? Just ride y'all right next to each other. Why y'all trying to get the attention of the cars passing by being so loud? And I don't know what it says about people, but there's a certain segment. There's a certain segment of people that are just loud for no reason. I don't know what it says about them. I really don't. But it's annoying as all get out. And look, I don't want nothing bad to happen to them. Like, I don't want them arrested. I don't want, to get a ticket for noise or nothing like that. I'm not asking for anything negative to happen to them. I don't even necessarily think it make them bad people. I just don't understand. It felt like there was some sort of need for attention, and because there was nobody there to give it to them except the 3 of them, they had to get it from passerbys. Girl, yeah, that's good. And I'm like, oh my God. I just rolled up the window. I don't want to hear y'all out here screaming. I don't know what it says about them.
Maybe that they're happy and enjoying life.
No, it ain't just happy, because they could have been happy without doing all of that. It ain't just happy.
Some people like me, I come from a loud family. Everything we do is loud. When we mad, we loud. When we happy or excited, we loud. That's why people accuse me of being so angry, because when I just be talking, I'm loud. People just loud, Emanuel.
It was about attention. It was all about attention. I can tell it was about attention.
Or did you assume it was about
attention? No, I could tell. If you're talking to your girl standing next to you on the scooter, why are you looking at all the cars that pass by as you screaming to her about the scooter? Y'all ain't crossing the street. You ain't looking both ways to cross the street. You just loud for no reason.
You sound like an old man right now, for real.
Well, I'm an old man.
Look at those young people enjoying life. It makes me upset.
I didn't have a problem with them enjoying life. I don't even really have a problem with them being loud. I just don't understand that level of need for attention. Because that's what it was.
Just because you paid them attention doesn't mean they was looking for it.
They was definitely looking for it.
You told them that.
I know.
You don't.
I do.
You assume.
I know.
You assume.
No, I know. You keep forgetting who you talking to. I am the king of talk.
Whatever, bro.
I know why they was talking so loud. Girl, yeah, told it. I rode the scooter right up here. She saw you.
Remember that time that you accused?
You sure
Remember that time
did.
you accused the deaf man of ignoring you in the store because you thought you knew something?
He
I just
was.
want you to keep that in the back of your head.
He wasn't being loud.
Because her friend could be hearing impaired or anything.
Her friend wasn't hearing impaired.
You don't know that.
I know it. I know it. Thank you, everybody who called, everybody who listened, Raven. Everything that you do, I appreciate you. Al Sharpton is up next. Till next time, I'm out, y'all.
It's hard, y'all. Just spread what you know. Stand up tall and don't you.
I got everything, just about everything that I needed to get done yesterday. Just about. Somebody said, did you check those kids or just let them keep acting a fool? What they were doing was not wrong. It wasn't wrong. So there was nothing to check them about. It just, they were being loud for no reason. Well, when I say for no reason, they were being loud for attention. They wanted attention. Here's what really was going on with these kids. But I brought it up because I see it a lot of times. Just period. Here's what was going on. They were excited to be riding the scooters. It might have been their first, second time of riding the scooters. And they was out having a good time. There's just nothing wrong with that. But they wanted everybody to look at them because they were having fun riding the scooters. And so they wanted people to look at them. It's like when I used to go to the club. I didn't go to the club much. But like, it is blazing in here. It is 82 degrees in here. Hold on, y'all. I'll be right back. I gotta go. I am sweating. And I'm like, it is so hot in here. And I look up, it is 82 degrees in the studio. No air moving, nothing. And then, y'all can't see it, but there was literal sweat on my face. Hold on, I'll be right back. Who sets the temperature at 82 degrees? Yes, it was cold in here, but now it is blazing. Whew. Now, where was I at? Where was I at? I don't remember what I was saying. I know I was talking about people being loud. It might have been Lincoln. I don't know who turned it up, but I just glanced up. It is 82 degrees in here. Like I said, there is no air moving, nothing. And it's not like it is set where it was set to 82. It is blazing in here. Yeah.
I wish it felt like this in there, because I'd be cold over there.
Somebody said it's 82 outside. But
It's hot in here.
But outside is air moving.
Yeah.
In here, there is no air moving.
You're literally in an enclosed space. But yeah, it's hot in here. I won't leave this door open.
And again, it was set to 82. So it ain't like, oh, the AC ain't working. No, somebody had it set to 82 degrees.
I would have said it was me, but because sometimes I do it when I host, but I ain't hosting it forever, so it couldn't have been me. And if it had been me the last time I hosted, you'd have noticed by now.
Somebody was saying, okay, yeah, I was saying, I don't know if this is what I was saying. What happened was they got on the scooter. They wanted some attention. They wanted everybody to look at them because they were having fun. Like I said, they wasn't doing anything wrong. They weren't doing anything wrong. I don't want to see no bad stuff happen to them. But there are people who just do stuff, just be loud for attention. That's what they were doing. It's not necessary, though.
It was for attention, and even if it's not necessary, we do a lot of stuff that is not necessary because it brings us enjoyment. Let them have their enjoyment.
I didn't stop them.
Grumpy old man.
I didn't stop them. I didn't even shoot them a dirty look. I just thought, why?
Because they can. That's why.
Why?
Because they can. That's why.
They done brought the scooters into the neighborhood now. Ugh.
Would you prefer they kept the scooters out the hood? Would you prefer that level of gentrification?
I don't know if that's gentrification,
Whatever you
but
want to call it, it's racist some kind of way.
and I'm not even necessarily against them being. I'm not against. I just didn't understand it. That's it. I just didn't understand the loud just for the sake of being loud.
Because I'm sure when you was younger, you and your friends was out doing whatever y'all did in Avondale, being loud and destructive, and whatever teenage boys or young boys do. Somebody was looking at y'all from their front porch like, why they so damn loud?
Somebody said I was a teenager. Rilo says I was doing the same thing back in the day. I wasn't. I wasn't one of those loud people for the sake of attention. That wasn't me. And it ain't that serious. How serious do you think I'm saying it is? Just curious. It ain't serious enough to say that it happened. So if something ain't bad, I'm not allowed to acknowledge its existence. And it is not no male hot flash. It is just hot in here.
Nah, yo, it's actually hot in here. I didn't know male hot flashes were a thing.
I don't know if they are or not. David says that's bad to you, though they was having fun. I don't know that I said that it was bad. Did I say it was bad? Sound like you're getting frustrated. As a matter of fact, I said I don't want nothing bad to happen to them. They wasn't hurting nobody. I just don't understand why other than for attention. How is that frustrated or saying that it's bad? How? How? I don't know what y'all hear sometimes. I really don't. Now, if I would have said somebody needed to be out there, I called the police on them. I wanted them to give them a ticket because they was breaking the noise ordinance, and that's $100 ticket, and they mamas, then they should take them and they should be trained. They ain't got no home training. And if I was saying any of that stuff, then I would be like, okay, y'all, I was a little hard on them. I said they was loud. I didn't want nothing bad to happen. I didn't want the police to get them. I didn't want to get them in no trouble. They wasn't hurting nobody, but they had to be that loud for attention. You done sweated your black dye a little. Do a touch up tonight. Oh, Lewis is still on it. Lewis is still on it. Lewis, I never said anything about prison. You've been misremembering a lot of things lately. I never mentioned prison because I'm not talking about not raping people so that you don't go to prison. I'm talking about not raping people because rape is horrible. So I never said don't rape people to avoid prison. I said don't rape people. And then you refuse to say I won't rape people. Even to now, you haven't said, okay, I will not rape anyone. So why do you keep bringing it up? You're going to do whatever you're going to do. I hope you don't rape nobody. And again, I'm not talking about, I might not have been real clear about this. I'm not talking, they weren't little kids. They wasn't little kids. It was little kids across the street at the basketball court and the playground. They would have been 16, 17 maybe. 15, maybe on the bottom end. 15, 16, 17. 15, 16, 17. See, it's already feeling better in here. It's already feeling better in here. I said it at 72.
So let's talk about that, the battle around the infrastructure, whether you think they'll go for the 1.2 and the 3.5 later, or should they wait?
Purple Pro says got stopped next to a school bus, and oh my God, sometimes I feel for the driver.
One congressman in Chicago said he can come back to Chicago and get a second chance.
I can't imagine Lincoln sat in here his entire show with it being this hot. He had to get up. He had to get up. Lewis still on there. Lewis, no one ever asked me, but I specifically asked you. Would you commit to not raping anyone? You just refused to do it. And you got a right to refuse me. I just hope you don't do it. That's all I can really say. Okay. I hope you, Lewis, I hope you don't rape anyone. Oh my God. Everybody else, you dropped that temperature by 10 degrees. Yes, by 10 degrees. I dropped it by 10 degrees. Everybody else done moved on. Lewis still stuck. But it does. It feels much better in here. It feels much better. All right, y'all. I'm getting ready to get out of here. I don't really have anything to discuss with y'all today. He might have turned it up. He would do that. He is looking for a reason. Lincoln is looking for a reason and a way to sabotage me and sabotage my show. Because he perceives that by me not letting him use my lights, I am sabotaging his show. So he looking for some get back. Did you ever get them cookies from Insomnia? Huh? I don't understand that. What are your thoughts on these city council candidates? Who do you like so far? I'm still looking. So far, I don't like nobody. But that's because I ain't really looked at nobody. Sabrina says, is he better? Did he get tested? Oh, okay. Let me tell y'all about Lincoln. And y'all know he got that cough, right? He got that cough. And he said he was going to go get tested. He said he was going to go get tested. I said I was going to go get tested too, but I didn't. I got a little busy. But he said he was going to go get tested. And then he texted me saying that he got tested and that his test came back negative, right? And then he sent me a picture. And I wish I would have kept the picture. Because it looked like it, and I'm not saying he didn't get a test, and I'm not saying that it didn't come back negative, okay? I'm not saying that, because I don't know that for a fact. But what I'll say is this, what he sent me. Like, you ever seen somebody open up a notebook and, like, tear a corner off of a piece of paper? Tear the corner off and then write something on it? It looked like that was what he did. Like, it was a notebook paper because it had lines on it. Like, it had the white part at the top and then a few lines at the bottom. Like, somebody tore a piece off, and on it, in handwriting, they had good penmanship. They wrote negative. That was the picture he sent me to prove that he was negative. I'm like, ain't nothing official about that. Ain't nothing official about that. Negative. It was good penmanship, but it was on the corner of a piece of paper. Negative. How is that proof of anything? If that's all it takes, then hell, I'm going everywhere now. Just tear off a piece of paper. Mrs. Livingston got good penmanship. Just write negative on there. We good. Here, negative. There we go. We got tested. Come on. Come on. And then he said, well, I got my test. I'm negative. I'm like, bruh. Ain't a damn thing official about your test. Oh my God, Lewis back at it. I'm like, ain't nothing. I wonder if that's what he gonna take down there. Because y'all know he doing that mayoral debate. Just take a piece of paper, have somebody write negative on it and show it to them. They're going to be like, oh, Lincoln, where's negative? It's fine. Who accepts that as proof of anything? It was funny. Now, if he said, again, he don't have to show me anything. I come in, I sanitize everything anyway. But that was why when somebody had said Lincoln Ware know his status, I was like, nah, he gave me some fake results. All right, now the temperature is coming down in here. It's registering 81. It's slow. Lewis wants to know, how is a black man scared to talk about black men getting incarcerated for crimes they didn't commit? I want to know, Lewis, how is a black man scared to say he won't rape nobody? You broke the thermostat. No, the thermostat is not broken. It's coming down. It's coming down. Like, it feels much better in here, but all that means is that now there's actual air blowing. So the air is moving, and that makes a difference. Jerica says maybe he did an at-home COVID test. Maybe he did, but still, to have somebody write negative on a piece of paper and take a picture of it and send it to me, just don't send me nothing. Just say I'm negative. All that did was make me look at it and be like, man, this dude is sketchy. I laughed out loud when he sent it to me. I laughed out loud. Negative. Prognosis negative. The man said he got tested. I'm not here to say he didn't get tested. I'm not here to say he didn't get tested. And apparently, he is negative. Lincoln wouldn't lie about it. And again, I'm not saying that he is. I'm not saying that he is. Maybe he did get tested. Maybe he did get results. I'll kind of take his word for it. Oh, he is negative. Right. It's the same test that the View got. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. To further my conspiracy theory, I thought about this. Y'all know, what is her name? Banging on the table helps me think. Oh, she pretends to be a woman, but I don't really think she's a woman. I think it's a man, and she's got a show, or he got a show. Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams, fully vaccinated, tests positive for the coronavirus, right? Wendy Williams goes in the hospital. Somebody put it. No, she's not in the hospital for the coronavirus. She's in the hospital because of some mental issues. Yeah, right. I believe she is probably in the hospital for that daggone coronavirus. But they don't want to put that out there. So they say, oh, she in there for some mental issues. They just happened to crop up when she tested positive for the coronavirus because she's fully vaccinated. Davis Denise says Wendy is a girl. That's what you say. I'm not sure about that. I believe it's a man. But I believe that's all a part of the conspiracy. Again, I believe. Jeannie says, please quit saying that. My stepdaughter has been saying that forever. RuPaul is the one that's a man. Now, I believe Wendy is a man, or Wendell. Yeah. I believe that's Wendell Williams. That's so wrong. She's shown pictures of her as a little girl. Wendy is a woman. I don't believe that. I'm just telling you, I don't believe it. I believe it's a man. Lewis says, and you are a bee, so what's the difference? I believe it's a man. Somebody said that comment can get you put in Facebook jail. Well, why would I say that stupid S just because a monkey talk show host asked me to? I didn't even see that comment. She has a son. People can adopt. I don't know what hospital she's in, but it's funny that she didn't end up in a hospital until she tested positive for the coronavirus. Is she actually in the hospital for some psychological issues, or is she in the hospital because of that daggone coronavirus? But they don't want you to know. But they don't want you to know that she in the hospital because of the coronavirus. So they said it was something mental. I really do believe, y'all, that this is a thing that's happening. What? I believe it's a man. Carl, you focused on the wrong thing. Myosha says that boy ain't adopted. He looks exactly like his daddy. Okay, so the daddy had a baby with somebody and Wendy took it in. Okay, that would mean she adopted it. Why would they do that? They would do that because they want people to get the vaccine. They don't want people to keep seeing all of these cases of fully vaccinated people testing positive. They feel like that undermines their push for people to get the vaccine. So I believe now they're coming up with reasons when these people test positive and it becomes public. They're coming up with reasons why they didn't really test positive or why it ain't really that bad. Oh, she in the hospital for psychological issues. I believe that it's a conspiracy that they don't have to do, but for whatever reason, just like they give out all of this misinformation, I believe that this is a part of it. That's why others degrade our women because our men do. Stop it, E-Man. I'm not degrading her by saying that I think it's a man. What's degrading about being a man? What's degrading about that? There's nothing wrong with being a man. There's nothing wrong with being a man. Myosha says that's complete BS, E-Man. We all know you can test positive after being vaccinated. No, there's a lot of people who actually don't know that. There's a lot of people who don't know that. I've actually said that on these airwaves. I've said it on these airwaves and had people call in. If y'all was listening, y'all heard it when I said you can still get the coronavirus even if you've been fully vaccinated. I had people call, they gonna take you off the air for saying that. You can't get the virus if you're vaccinated. You gonna get taken off the air. And I'm like, you can, dude. Sorry, that hurt my throat. That old man, he was mad. But yeah, that has happened here live on the air. So don't tell me everybody know. Everybody don't know. No, there's a lot of people who don't know. There's a lot of people who don't know that. So it still feeds into, yeah, that really was how he sounded. He was an old man and he was mad as hell. That was how he sounded. I wish I would have kept that call. I wish I could have kept that call. Then you would have been like, yeah, that would show how he sounded. He sounded exactly like that because that was how he sounded. So yeah, he was mad. He was mad. So yeah, no, there are people who don't know it, and they're comfortable with people not knowing it. They want people to believe that the vaccine is a cure and that if you don't get the vaccine, you're gonna die. There are people who would love that. My impressions are amazing. Amazing. But that's out there, and I believe that All of this stuff that's going on is a way to do that. Is a way to do that. Wendy Williams, she tests positive. She's fully vaccinated. She's in the hospital. Probably, I can't say 100%, but probably because she's sick from the coronavirus. Well, no, it couldn't be because she's fully vaccinated. She in there, it's mental problems. Yeah, it's mental problems. If Wendy was vaxxed, it's from that, not the organic virus, right? Jerica says if people base their decisions solely on the media, they aren't truly educating themselves. Oh, no, that's very true. People aren't truly educating themselves. They aren't. People are believing what they see. Oh, they see Dr. Fauci on the TV. If Dr. Fauci said it, it's true. Dr. Fauci has given out bad information. Again, I told y'all, maybe I didn't tell y'all, but I got unfriended by my own cousin, as a matter of fact, because he said that Dr. Fauci has not said anything with regard to this virus or vaccine that wasn't true. And I, of course, pointed him to something that Dr. Fauci said that he later went back and changed, and he got mad and he unfriended me. Because he's one of these hardcore vaccine people. And they have an agenda. Again, I think they're coming from a genuine place. I think they're coming from a genuine place. But they still spread misinformation. And trying to trick me into, because they believe they're saving my life. Trying to trick me into saving my life is just as bad as trying to trick somebody into not getting the vaccine. Lying to me or giving me, as they call it, misinformation to get me to take the vaccine is just as bad as lying or giving me misinformation to stop me from taking it. I'm against both sides giving out misinformation. Now, I'm not giving out misinformation. I'm telling you what I think, and I'm not presenting it as fact. Even when I was saying black people can't get the virus, I was saying I don't think black people can get the virus. I don't think I said it's a fact that black people can't get the virus. I was wrong, but I'm telling you what I think. People are passing this stuff off as fact, and I got a problem with that. And if you'll pass off misinformation as fact, you'll participate in a conspiracy to cover up stuff that don't fit with your agenda. Let me see. What's crazy? Stop moving. What's crazier is when people do educate themselves, others will still say, where did it go? Will still say, do your research, unless you see the conspiracies and the ineffectiveness of the vaccine. You know, some people will say that. But because here's the deal. Here's what I hear a lot from people. Do your research, right? So I did my research. Well, you didn't really do the right research because you didn't come to the same conclusion that I came to. So your research is wrong. That's basically on both sides how people feel. Brandon says, I'm against dying, so I suggest getting vaccinated. Who cares about all the noise? Well, I'm against dying too, but that don't mean you got to get vaccinated. See, that's a part of the misinformation. He didn't actually say it, but he suggested that if you don't get the vaccination, you'll die. And if you do get the vaccination, you won't. I just told y'all a story about people who were fully vaccinated who died. And I can tell you a story about someone who was not vaccinated who got it and didn't die. So to say I'm against dying, therefore, I suggest getting vaccinated suggests that vaccination stops you from dying. That's the stuff I'm talking about.
Some months I make $200 to $300.
I love getting money back for things I use every day. It's just free money for buying gas.
There's no catch. It's simple, and you get your cash back right away.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the
Lewis says, say I won't rape my daughter. What's so hard about saying that? Say it, B word. I won't rape my daughter. See that? See that? And I really mean it. I'm not just saying it because you said say it. I'm saying it because I can say it with full confidence. But you couldn't say that you wouldn't rape anybody. Brandon says, no, I am saying I err on the side of caution. Well, that was clearly not what you said. You said I'm against dying, so I suggest getting the vaccine. You didn't say I'm against dying, so I chose to get the vaccine for me. You said you're against it, so you suggest that would be a suggestion to others. So then you would then be saying other people should err on what you perceive as the side of caution. Myosha says, all I know is your impressions suck. They don't. They don't. That's why people were mad about the Martin Luther King impersonation, because it was so good. And they like, Martin Luther King ain't never said that. But in their head, they was seeing Martin say it. Jerica says, there's a chance of dying with or without the vaccine. See, so far, that's 100% true. However, the virus, if contracted, may not kill you. That's 100% true. Rilo says, enough with the vaccine talk. Either people gonna get it or not. Personal responsibility. We all have a choice. That's not true. That's not true. Not true. We don't all have a choice. They're forcing people to get it. So when you say enough with the vaccine talk, either people gonna get it or not. Well, I guess that's true. Either people are gonna get it or they're not. But it's not all about a choice, because they're not giving people a choice. Lewis says, finally, what, an hour and a half, 2 hours later, I won't rape anybody. See, it wasn't that hard. But our words mean nothing and actions mean everything. So did you just dismiss what you just said? You said I won't rape anybody, but that don't mean nothing. What? Oh my God. Well, I hope you don't rape nobody, Lewis. Even though it took you about an hour and a half to say that you wouldn't, I hope that that word actually means something from you. My impressions are good. They're good. Jeannie says I sounded like Eddie Murphy. Oh, boy. Purple Pro says... Okay, Lewis. Lewis says because you said you won't rape your daughter, don't mean that you haven't done that. It's just words, and you know this. Okay, Lewis. Okay, Lewis. You win. You can rape as many people as you want, and if you do, I hope you get caught. I don't know what you want me to say at this point, Lewis. I don't know what you want me to say. Rilo says, please explain. An individual can always seek other employment. You have to follow any mandate, indeed jumping with jobs. But don't say it's a choice. It's not a choice. That, again, I always say this. Look at the definition, because I know people are going to say that's different. It is different. It's the principle, though, that I'm examining. You ready? All right. If I tell you, you at a job, and I tell you, do this or get fired, you say that's a choice? That's always a choice. It's a choice. That's what you're saying, right? I'm giving you a choice. And that's what you would say. Any circumstance where I'm telling you, as your employer, do this or get fired, I'm giving you a choice. So if I say to Monday, have sex with me or get fired, you would say, well, I mean, Emanuel gave her a choice. She could always just go find another job, but he gave her a choice. No, you wouldn't. You would clearly say, Emanuel tried to force that girl to have sex with him. Clearly, that's what you would say. And you'd be right, by the way. You'd say, you wouldn't say, Emanuel gave her a choice to have sex with him or to find another job. Emanuel tried to force that girl into having sex with him. Clearly, that's what you would say. Take this vaccine or get fired. That job is trying to force me to take a vaccine. No, they're giving him a choice to take the vaccine. No, it's the same. They are trying to force me to do something under threat of losing my job. It's not a choice. It's not a choice. When you're doing something under duress, it's not a choice. That's somebody trying to force you to do something. That's just the truth. People don't like the way it sounds, but it's just the truth. Rilo says he agrees it's hardline. That's a little different because sex has nothing to do with the health and well-being of the majority. It's not about whether or not the thing has anything to do with the health and well-being. It's about whether or not the thing is presented as a choice. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. And you would not say he's giving her a choice. You wouldn't say that. Yes, it's different. Anything that I would say other than take the virus or lose your job would be different. Again, using that definition, you can't say that any two things are the same. So you can't compare any two things because no two things are exactly the same. You can't even compare two apples because they're not exactly the same. Come on. Yes, it's an ultimatum, Michael D. Ballard. That's really not giving you a choice. That's attempting to force you to do something under duress. Yeah, I know, but every time I try to get out, they do something to pull me back in. Oh. Black Wolf says something, and y'all know I don't say this about a lot of stuff, but he said something foolish. Technically, it's not your job. They gave you the job. It's not even worthy of a response, but I figured I'd read it just so y'all would hear it. Hey, you're trying to end the show. I am trying to end the show. I do. I had to get out of here. For real. I got to get out of here. I hope you guys all have a wonderful evening. And I guess until next time, I'm out, y'all. Peace.